And we are live. So, again, thank you for taking time out of your day. Do we have mic checks and whatnot? Oh, I didn't do a drive. Sorry.
I'm still doing rundown.
All right, give me a minute. I'll take care of the drive. No, I got it. I'll take care of it.
Oh, and there's all the emails.
Thank you for joining us. We are currently in a hold position.
Yeah, no kidding.
We are T-minus 9 minutes to showtime.
We need a George Diller.
You know, George retired.
Yes, I know, which means he should be available.
It's just like random railing out here. Oh, I got it. I'll take care of it.
Really
Go. Do your rundown.
Random railing, everyone.
Should mic on.
Should be.
He was making slurpy sounds with his
Is
face.
it that one?
Best.
Is it on now?
Nope.
Well, you being
It is
Alive?
now.
and him
Am I live?
being open is different.
Am I live? Can the world hear me?
Live on YouTube.
Beer Twizzlers in tomorrow.
Not quite on Twitch yet.
What's a beer Twizzler?
We're not live on Twitch yet? I say in this octave up here for some reason?
We should be.
Yeah, it might just take a
I'm
moment.
just not seeing it yet. It usually does
What did
take
I
a
do
moment.
with the keyboard?
Periscope doesn't want to go live.
You know, Periscope is giving me some issues. Let me try deleting it and recreating it.
They're apparently in the.
There we go.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Dang it.
Oop.
Seriously though, what's a beer Twizzler?
Yeah, Anomaly. What's a beer Twizzler?
Thanks, Space Kyle.
If that's an alcoholic Twizzlers, then that might be something Carrie Ann needs.
I don't know about beer Twizzlers. I'm not a big fan of Twizzlers, and I also don't typically drink beer. So if it's any combination of those, I'm probably out. As far as I know, there will not be a cities today.
There will not be a cities today. We will discuss cities later.
What's your break order? Are you doing...
Cities first. Yeah, cities first.
I hear dogs.
I can switch that if you want, man.
Is that tankers?
Say again?
Hey, you right there?
I show us live on Twitch.
Yeah, so does Space Kyle.
All right, cool. All right, Periscope.
You okay with cities first, Brent?
Yeah, let's do cities first, and then I'll talk to it right before the interview.
Cool.
We'll delete Periscope.
To Wicked No
channel.
ETA.
Oops.
There we go. Boop.
Beer with a Twizzler straw.
All right, according to
Gross.
that, we
That
should be
sounds
live
pretty
on
nasty.
Periscope.
Unless we're talking root beer. That could work.
Ugh. No.
You don't like root beer?
I like root beer. I don't like Twizzlers.
Oh, okay.
Root beer and Twizzlers sounds just
I
like
just
those to
prefer
me as
straight up
regular
red
beer.
vines.
Blech.
So.
Unless we're
No.
talking root beer.
Whoops.
That could work. You do your thing, Anomaly. Don't you worry about them. It's all
right.
good.
You do you, boo. You do you.
We all have different mouths, so I think like that's acceptable. It just does not appeal to me.
Jared is Cassini, correct?
What?
You have the Cassini video?
Yes.
Do you want the video first or the images first?
Let's do the images first. So, did I not order it correctly?
You didn't
It just
order
says
it at all.
Cassini, you didn't order it. So
Oh, okay.
you have the files marked that way. I just don't want to
Yeah.
clarify.
Do you want me to start throwing that in the rundown?
Well,
See, like this.
it wouldn't be hurtful.
Right.
See how Mike does his?
Yeah. Gotcha.
That would be cool if you care. If you don't care, then I'll just do it.
Okay. Well,
Like
this week I don't care, but I will.
Like Mike's got things that he's talking about. So Skyline Saber, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that's awesome. If we can do more of the way Mike is doing it, I think it's because he says something and we're showing relevant pictures.
Gotcha.
Right? There's this incredible, like, it almost looks like we know what we're doing.
Almost.
Almost. Don't be fooled.
Don't.
4 minutes out.
Ugh.
Thank you.
And it feels like I almost never have to, when we call in, just be like, okay, I want this picture like here when I say this, because it's already in there with these cues of where
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want the pictures.
I'm
That
really
is
digging on that
helpful.
system. I think it works really well.
Anomaly red vines, like the generic version of Twizzlers.
I think those are equally competitive,
Sure.
like Coke and Pepsi.
Sure.
No, there's a definitive difference between Coke and Pepsi.
There is a
There's
definitive
a
difference
difference
between Coke and
between
Pepsi,
Twizzlers
but
and red vines.
So,
Oh my goodness.
like, Coke
Ugh.
tastes great, Pepsi doesn't. So,
Red Vines taste great. Twizzlers don't.
Okay, well, it's all red licorice and I don't like it.
You're entitled.
what about black licorice? Do you like black licorice?
I only like real black licorice. Like, black Twizzlers are not the same.
Gotcha.
It's not anywhere near.
I have a Sophia story at the end, but we can drop it if we need to for time.
Like, Sophia the Great? Sophia the First.
So the first, yes.
Right? Like, wait, that wasn't right.
This one's a new type of first.
Yeah,
I didn't even know what that
yes.
was.
Point to the
until
person with a
Googling
toddler
images
and ask
for
them.
this.
Hey, I figured it out.
Whew. 3 minutes out, people. 3 minutes.
I'm pretty sure
3 minutes.
astronauts preferred anything that didn't have carbonation in it.
Yeah, that was the main complaint of that experiment. Wet burps.
Blech.
That sounds terrible.
You should do a space pod about that.
Green Jim LL. On to important things. Earl Grey or English breakfast tea? Earl Grey, obviously. Earl Grey.
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey.
English breakfast with lots of sugar.
What? No.
With milk and honey.
I
I
like
don't think
I
I've ever
like
had
them
an English
both.
breakfast tea, so I don't know.
No.
I had Earl Grey, but not the other.
Earl Grey is like a flowery version of English breakfast. They're both a black tea. Earl Grey typically has like verbena in it, which is kind of a lemony kind of situation. Sometimes they put marshmallow flour in it, so it brings it a little bit sweeter. Sometimes called Earl Grey cream. Both can be taken black or with sugar and cream, or any combination thereof. I find that if you're going to do it over ice, Earl Grey is better for that. And Earl Grey lemonade is really, really amazing. Yeah.
Arnold Palmer.
Earl Grey lemonade is really, really good. I've also combined Earl Grey with a hibiscus tea and done that iced, and that's also pretty good.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
1 minute.
I hear that we are recording. Recording is go. Space mic is go. Mics are hot.
Head is go.
Must be nice to be named Mike and say Mike's are hot.
Yeah, but he talks about himself both in the first person and in the plural. That's weird.
Jared doesn't do that.
This is Carrie Ann's unamused sense of humor. Okay, we ready? I like how Ben actually answered. What? There's nothing wrong with baristas.
Ready, guys?
Yep. Mike is drinking.
Good morning. How's everything up in the sky?
And welcome to Orbit 10, Episode 17. I'm Carrie Ann, with me is Mike and Jared. And I've got a Dutta, I've got a Ben, I've got all kinds of fun things going on. Apparently, I'm the ringmaster today. This is, of course, this is May Revenge of the 6th, so thank you for joining us at the top of the show. We for sure want to give a huge shout out to our Patreon members. These are the Escape Velocity members. I apparently took Jared by surprise on that one. These are the people who who have given us $10 or more for this particular segment of this particular episode. And they, of course, get access to our Discord channel. If you are interested in such things, head on over to patreon.com/TMRO. What? It's Revenge of the 6th. Is it?
I thought it was Revenge of the 5th.
No. And awful with you. No. The 6th makes so much more sense. Like, I'm sorry. It just does.
Boy.
Whatever. I own this place right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
You're in
but I
command.
am going to hand it over to Mike because we have a
argue
couple
with
of
that.
launches that we do need to talk about. Some really, really exciting things. Some things we can talk about, some things we can't talk about. Mike, why don't you tell us about things we can sort of almost talk about?
Okay, so first off, this week we had a SpaceX launch, which launched a Falcon 9 carrying a classified payload. So let's check out the footage of that.
3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. Falcon 9.
This launch occurred on Monday, May 1st at 11:15 Coordinated Universal Time from the historic Launch Complex 39A at Cape Canaveral, Florida. And as I said, the payload was a secret satellite for the National Reconnaissance Office. And we can actually see the second stage separating from the first stage in this footage, something I don't know if I've ever seen quite like in that detail there. So the coverage of the satellite deployment and the second stage was not broadcasted. But we got to see some amazing footage of the first stage during its attempt to try to land. And I don't think I've ever seen some of this footage like this, especially this re-entry burn, which is way bigger than I ever thought it was. And holy cow. That helps me really realize what Falcon is going through re-entering the atmosphere. And, through these series of burns, to help to slow down and still using aerodynamic forces to slow down as well. But in any case, this was spectacular footage of that. And to see all of this, and even some of these shots of Falcon as it was coming in, look at that. That is just breathtaking. I have never seen that, so much detail coming in. Oh, man. So yeah, let's listen to the audio of their successful landing attempt.
See the landing legs at play in a few seconds. And we have touchdown. First stage has landed back at landing zone 1. It's another good day for us at SpaceX. It's a beautiful sight to see. That is the fourth landing of a Falcon 9 at landing zone 1.
Thanks,
Awesome
J-Fed.
footage, just amazing footage.
Piece of cake.
That also was the 10th successful landing overall. Yeah, piece of cake. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So that was amazing footage, and of course the mission was declared a success by the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office, in whatever orbit their mystery satellite was put into. So congratulations to everyone at SpaceX for the successful launch and everyone involved in providing that beautiful footage of this. Oh my.
Yeah, that far camera just watching this tiny little flame like coming back is pretty incredible. All the colors, I think, in general, were just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Must be nice to be able to launch at that time of day.
Even prior to that, just seeing some of the gas thrusters shoot off, I was just like, oh wow, I don't think I've ever seen those in such detail before. So that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the people who were manning those cameras were just really, really doing an amazing job. Super steady hands. Definitely no coffee from me. Okay, so we've got some other launches. Tell me what else is going on.
So we had the kind of return to flight, even though there wasn't a problem with the rocket, from the Arianespace and the Ariane 5 rocket. So yeah, let's check out footage of their successful launch.
3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage UAP, décollage.
This rumble in the jumble occurred on Thursday, May 4th at 21:50 Coordinated Universal Time from Kourou, French Guiana, and this particular launch was postponed 2 months because of the local economic protests, which have been resolved, and that's why this launch was able to occur. Now, the payloads for this were 2 communications satellites. The first one is SGDC, or the Geostationary Satellite for Communications and Defense, which is a Brazilian satellite for both civil and military communications. And this is another one of those dual launches where they have the extra payload variant. You can see the first one that was already deployed already. And for the second payload, it was KoreaSat-7, which is going to provide communications coverage over South Korea, the Philippines, Indochina, India, and Indonesia. And the duration of this flight from liftoff to separation of the rockets was 36 minutes and 46 seconds. It's a really long, slow burn that the Ariane 5 has. But they were able to have a successful mission, though, and I'm really glad to see that they can start launching payloads from there again. There's another 2 that they hopefully will be launching very quickly from there as well.
Very nice. And then ISRO, the Indian Space Agency, had some stuff going on. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, they had a really cool launch just yesterday on Friday, early in the morning. So this was a GSLV Mark II rocket that they launched. So let's check out the footage of that. Now, as I said, this was yesterday, May 5th, at 11:27 Coordinated Universal Time from the Shakarakota launch site in southeast India. And I really love this onboard camera footage, seeing the first stage with its boosters separating off at once there. Really, really cool to see. And they did not broadcast this live, unfortunately, but they uploaded it quickly after the mission success. Now, the payload for this was the GSAT-9, a geostationary communications satellite, also known as the South Asia satellite. And that's their cryogenic upper stage, both is separating and igniting there. So that's something that I haven't seen coming from India before, at least from their footage anyway. And this particular satellite is going to be giving free communications to nations nearby India. It's part of their South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. The nations include Bangladesh, Bhutan, the Maldives, Nepal, Sri Lanka. Afghanistan is expected to join in this project, but Pakistan is not joining in receiving these free services because they're still kind of upset about India's last launch where they deployed over 100 CubeSats into space at once. So in any case, though, this is helping to kind of, open up the region a little bit more and provide all these communication services to, remote regions that wouldn't otherwise have, cell phone service or mobile data or even just basic internet access. So this is a really cool project, and I feel like this could plant the seeds for further cooperation, maybe even some sort of ESA type of scenario like the European Space Agency, where all these nations might start cooperating together and do something cool. So congratulations for an awesome launch, and hopefully there's more cool things to come from this.
Very cool. That is really cool. Not that we had any shortage of launches this week, but Jared, you actually have news of another one?
Yes, there's another launch. Oh my gosh, it's like launch fever this week. The best part is that this is a launch of someone that we've actually interviewed on this show. So back in season 9, episode 36, we interviewed Jim Cantrell, the CEO of Vector Space Systems, about their upcoming company. And this was the prototype of their rocket, the Vector R, that they had at that time. Now, very happy to announce that this week they had the first flight of Vector R. Now, the new Vector R has an awesome paint job, first of all, black on orange.
Like
that is sick. That's pretty amazing. Now, it's a small sat launcher. It is a maximum payload of about 60 kilograms to low Earth orbit. So it's not a big rocket by anyone's...
Well, I like the ladder and the pickup truck for scale.
Yes.
It's very helpful.
No bananas for scale here. We got pickup trucks for scale. So that's how we do it. Now, it flew on May 3rd at 1900 1300 UTC from the Friends of Amateur Rocketry launch site in Mojave, California. And the rocket reached an altitude of 1,370 meters. So it was basically a test of the Vector R first stage, its engine, and its 3D printed injector. Now, test flights are going to continue in 2017, and we have some awesome footage from a drone that they actually took of the launch.
Oh, wow.
Take a look at this. We're coming in, the cinematic shot, and then the engine ignites, and there it goes. Watch out, drone.
I know, right? Ah!
And of course,
That's really cool.
beautiful scenery of the Mojave Desert out there.
Totally.
Or as Ben says, the Mojave.
The Mojave.
Yes, quite nice. Now they're expecting operational flights to begin in 2018, and they have said that they want to reach a launch cadence of 100 flights per year if the small sat market allows it. So very exciting stuff coming to see someone on the show actually doing things
Yeah.
out there. Great job, guys.
Yeah.
So, really cool stuff.
Really,
Now,
really cool.
A question that I have about this story is their altitude, really wasn't that high, and is kind of, considered, amateur rocketry type of height.
Yes.
But I was under the understanding that that's because that's the type of launch license that they had for this, just as a full test, even though with one engine, even though they're planning to use 3. Can you shed a little bit more light on that, on what the restrictions are at that site?
Yeah, so out there at the Friends of Amateur Rocketry launch site in Mojave, it is near a populated area, so you're not particularly allowed to do like high impulse kind of stuff. Basically large amounts of power, and you also have to restrict your altitude so that if something does go wrong, the rocket doesn't veer into the populated areas out there in Mojave. So it's kind of, you kind of got to be careful when you're flying out there. So,
Right.
and that's where the licenses and the restrictions come from. So.
Well, and then on top of that, Neuropilot in our chat room says, remember, folks, the early Redstone and Atlas rockets blew before 1,000 feet. So, yeah, I mean, that's to get to, what did you say, 1,300 meters?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 1,400 meters. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. Really cool.
Yeah, just a quick test of the first stage for them. That was primarily what they were looking at.
Yeah, no, I like it. All right, so talking about other
Very
people
cool.
that we have talked to, this is like almost like a reunion show right now. This is so great. I'm loving this. Mike, tell me a little bit more about Spaceship Two.
Yeah, so Virgin Galactic conducted a test flight of their new Spaceship Two Unity, and this was testing their feather system. So they released a video showing footage of that, and there's no audio for this, so I'm just going to talk over it here. They did test the feather system in the factory before actually doing a test flight of this, and for this flight, it was piloted by Mark Stuckey and Mike Masuki, and it was the 4th glide flight of the VSS Unity so far, and the 8th flight overall of the HMS Eve. So with this, there was no rocket motor during the powered flight, but you can see during this part of the video where they released the Spaceship Two and successfully completed the test. And I really appreciate, some of these internal camera views of the pilots as well. They definitely seem like they're very focused and don't make sure nothing goes wrong for this. But in any case, they had a successful flight. Everything went well with the feather system, and they haven't released any details as to when their next flights will be for their test program before they start doing more full tests and scaled tests with their rockets. But in any case, they're still making progress and moving right along with that. So that's good to see.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. As somebody in the chat room mentioned, this was one of the other tests that they were trying to do when they lost those pilots. So it's nice to see that they've made a lot of progress, and it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Really stunning.
It's a beautiful vehicle.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
All right, so Jaron.
Yes. Since we're continuing the reunion show
I know.
here,
I know, it's so great.
let's talk a little bit about Cassini.
Yeah, I mean, we
because-
did talk a lot about Cassini a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about Cassini now because Cassini is doing those ring diving orbits as a part of its grand finale, and it has now survived 2 of those orbits. Now, it's going between the narrow gap between the inside of Saturn's rings and the cloud tops of Saturn's atmosphere, which this gap is about 2,400 kilometers wide.
Yeah.
So we're really threading the needle with this here. So while it was doing that, it was taking incredible images of the atmosphere of Saturn like this. This is that polar vortex storm. It has Saturn has that hexagon, which occurs by natural processes in the atmosphere, but this is that vortex that's inside of the hexagon. So you're looking at an area that's about the size of the Earth in here. So just some incredible detail in the atmosphere here. Now, they were expecting the environment between Saturn's rings and the atmosphere to be full of dust, but they were very surprised to find out that there was actually very little dust impacting Cassini as it flew through this region. Now, when it flew through this region, it went with its high gain antenna flying in the direction that it was going, because that way the particles of dust could hit the high gain antenna and keep the spacecraft protected. And the dust in this region is expected to be about 1 micron in size, which is similar to the size of smoke particles. So very, very tiny. But they didn't really find anything there. The dust hits were so few and far between that they were kind of wondering why it was big and empty there. So some very cool, very amazing imagery that we're getting from Cassini on these ring grazing orbits. And of course, they continue to take images of the atmosphere. Cassini getting some of the best detailed images of Saturn's atmosphere that we have ever seen. And these grand finale orbits are going to continue until September 15th, when Cassini will eventually deorbit into the atmosphere of Saturn. Now, we've got a really cool video here that shows you what Cassini was actually seeing as it was orbiting over Saturn here. So this is a view from the camera on orbit as it's zipping past, just barely skimming over the cloud tops of Saturn there. Now, some of the cool things that are going to happen in the next couple of weeks is that they're actually going to raise the lower part of Cassini's orbit, and they're going to put it very close, almost into the innermost rings of Saturn. So they're really going to be getting it very, very close to the rings, and I can't wait to see images of that, because that's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. So hopefully we get to see some more incredible imagery, because let's face it, Saturn's pretty. Cassini's really good at taking pictures.
Yeah.
So it's like the perfect combination if you really like beautiful things in our solar system.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of perfect.
It's funny because those pictures almost, it's incredible that we're getting this kind of imagery with that just sort of like driving by kind of thing going on.
Just a little narrow strip.
Tiny, tiny bits. But they're almost so surreal. They're almost unbelievable. It's almost... You know what I mean? Like it's very...
Like it's really difficult for you to actually comprehend the fact that you're looking at the atmosphere of another planet up close.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that we're having both Juno at Jupiter and Cassini at Saturn doing basically the same thing, which is looking up close at the atmosphere at the same time. So just... Wow, it's awesome.
That is. Okay, so Mike, let's move on to something a little bit new. Really new, actually, because we're talking about breaking ground in a new test facility. Tell me what's going on.
So the new test facility that is being built by Reaction Engines. They're the company that has been securing funding over the years to build the Skylon space plane.
Yes.
And with this, the Skylon space plane. Yeah. Well, it's really cool because it's supposed to be an unmanned vehicle, and it's supposed to be a single stage to orbit vehicle. And it would be enabled by its SABRE engine, which stands for the Synergetic Air-Breathing Rocket Engine, which runs on hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen is first collected from the air, and then, when it's in the lower atmosphere, and once it reaches higher altitudes, it switches to rocket mode and uses onboard liquid oxygen for the rest of the flight. Now, they have gotten support from both the European Space Agency and the United Kingdom government to start work on this new test facility. It's going to be located in Westcott the Venture Park, which is in Buckinghamshire near Oxford, or west of London, if you know where that is.
Not to be confused with the park, the Disney park that was going to be Westcott here in Southern California. For all of
no.
Just in case. Yeah. I know Ben got really excited at the name really quickly. Okay, so sorry, go on. Westcott Test Facility.
Yeah, so this is where they're going to be building it, and something cool about it, because there are other people that are occupying this business park. They're going to have a water silencer to help keep the noise down when they're doing test firings of their engine, and that's all this site is to do test firings. They're not going to conduct launches from here. Now, they also want to test out a different version of their engine to kind of have a larger family of vehicles. They want to have an atmospheric-only version, and in this photo, that's the one in the middle, the white one there, that has smaller versions of the Sabre engines that would only be used for, the high-speed intercontinental passenger flights, so you're reaching speeds up to Mach 5, and as well as having smaller unmanned test vehicles for other applications, and potentially having as much efficiency as they can out of their engines. So I'm really happy to see that there's more news from this company. I mean, they have been in business ever since 1989, since the Hermes and Hotel programs in Europe got canceled. So I really like this idea, and I really want to see this idea get off the ground. But they're not going to start being able to do tests from here until 2020. So Skylon spaceplane is still, many years away. But hopefully they'll be able to prove out their system and do everything they need to have this project be successful. They have the support. They have the money now. So I'm really hopeful that this will actually happen.
Look for Ben wearing a Skylon plane T-shirt any day now, I'm sure. It's definitely one of his favorites. He always likes these kinds of stories. I'm sure he's just thrilled to pieces right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, Jared.
Yes.
Oh no, did you have something else, Mike? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to say real quick that, I really love this idea, but there hasn't really been much to say about them over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
It's just like, we have this cool idea, but we haven't been able to test our engine to even see if it works. So now here's at least progress to move forward with that. So.
Yeah, totally. Jared,
Yes.
so you talked to us about dark spots, cold spots, hot spots.
Dark matter.
Dark matter,
Which
yeah.
I did a whole space pod on.
Right.
Which shut everybody up.
Yeah,
so.
you talked to us about a lot of different things.
Yes.
Here's something else I really don't understand.
Yeah, let's do some astrophysics, y'all. So there's this thing called the cosmic microwave background radiation, which is basically the leftovers from this thing called the epoch of recombination. And this is 378,000 years after the Big Bang, when electrons and protons finally came together to form hydrogen. So this is basically the leftover radiation from the first formation of elements in our universe. Now, if this is what it looks like, by the way, you have to look at it. It's been stretched out. You have to look at it literally in the microwave region with that. Now, it sits at 2.72 degrees Kelvin, which is extremely cold. That's minus 270 degrees Celsius. But even though it's that cold, we've detected a cold spot in it. Now, this cold spot is about 10,000ths of a degree cooler than the average temperature in the cosmic microwave background radiation. And we've used data from the European Space Agency's Planck spacecraft and ground-based telescopes to help test a hypothesis.
Okay.
So there's this hypothesis suggested that the reason it's so cold in this region is that it's a super void in there. So basically it's an area in the universe where there's literally nothing there, where for millions of light years there is literally no matter in this region. But this new research that we've done with Planck and ground-based telescopes has shown that it's populated by the same amount of density, or the same density of galaxies as we find in the rest of the universe. And computer simulations of what we call the standard model of the universe, which is basically combining things like gravity, electromagnetism, weak and strong nuclear force, and all the other goodies that come in physics to explain how universes work. When they run that, you get a cold spot about 1 in every 50 simulations. So it's a pretty rare thing to actually get in your cosmic microwave background radiation. Now, there are some really wild hypotheses for why this cold spot should be there. And my favorite one, which is yet to be proven, by the way, so just to let you know, this hypothesis is yet to be, I'm sure, even investigated. But it's just very interesting, which is that some scientists think that you can get a cold spot in cosmic microwave background radiation from where a universe contacts with another universe. So in other words, going into that multiverse theory that mathematically works, we haven't found any physical evidence of yet. But obviously, we got to do a lot more study to entertain ideas like that. But it's just very interesting that we found this result, and now we are trying to explain this result as best as we can through all the models that we can. So very fun stuff happening in physics right now in terms of cosmology and astrophysics. So awesome stuff.
Really awesome. So this is interesting. Normally, Jared, you would be doing this next story.
Yes. Well, I did a launch story,
This is
which
very
is normally
true.
what Space Mike does.
This is very true. So, Mike.
So yeah, I normally don't cover astronomy stories, but this one involves a flying telescope,
Yes.
so I couldn't resist.
All right. Tell me what's going on with Sophia.
I'm talking about Sophia, the 747 that NASA owns that has an infrared telescope that they recently used to help confirm a particular theory about a star system that's pretty close to us. As I said, it has an infrared telescope. We do have a little close-up of that particular instrument there. And with this, the star system in question is called Epsilon Eridani. It's about 10.5 light years away. And what this study was doing was it was looking at how star systems form. And Epsilon Eridani is really similar to our own sun, or a younger sun anyway. And scientists wanted to see how the planets are forming there and to answer a question they had about warm debris. So, Jared's talking about the cold stuff. I'm talking about the warm stuff. But previously, they used the Spitzer Space Telescope that detected really warm material, but they weren't quite able to figure out where exactly it was coming from. They weren't sure if it was just a really big, huge dust cloud that was an accretion disk that was collapsing into planets, or if it was localized into one or two ring systems. And thanks to Sophia's infrared telescope, it turns out that it does have an inner ring like our solar system that that is shepherded by a large gas giant in the same way that Jupiter shepherds our main asteroid belt into the inner solar system. Now, the question is whether or not there's another gas giant that exists in the outer solar system of this system and is keeping that outer disk material from falling in and mixing with the rest of the system, similar to the same role that Neptune plays in our system with keeping all the, or at least most of the Kuiper Belt objects out of the inner solar system. So I find that this is really interesting, especially because this is a star system that is close to home. The odds are likely that our star and this star formed from the same region. Or otherwise, why would we be so close to each other? So it's interesting to see other evidence that we might not necessarily be unique, because all these planets that we've been finding around other star systems really makes our solar system look weird, or kind of like the oddballs. So I like stories like this that kind of have some familiar concepts anyway. So.
Yeah, I like it. Awesome. Gosh, I feel really good about this. You?
I feel great about this.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
So keeping on with the reunion show, we're gonna take a break. But when we come back, Ben, you all know that guy, is gonna be talking with Thomas Cheney about space law. Someone that we have previously spoken to, which is super cool. And it was really, really great show. So hopefully we're going to get a little bit more of that. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Close your eyes and picture your favorite city. What do you see? A graceful skyline of towering buildings. Cars and trains bustling everywhere. Crowds of people working, shopping, and visiting, maybe for the first time. Tomorrow sees cities a little differently. We see buildings, but also a thriving ecosystem. We hear the cars, the trains, and envision a better way. We see cities as a place to call home, and as a place worth the journey. Cities with a past and a present, but especially a bright future. Come with us and explore the cities of tomorrow.
And welcome back to tomorrow's reunion show. Now, before we get started with our segment with Thomas, I did want to give a shout out to all of the patrons of Tomorrow who have helped make this specific segment of this episode happen. These are Escape Velocity patrons. They've contributed $10 or more. We'll get access to our new Discord channel. We've also got our Orbital patrons. These are people who've contributed $5 or more and get access to free worldwide shipping on our swag store. To find out how you can become a patron of Tomorrow. Head on over to patreon.com/TMRO. All right, now, back in the day, back when we were Space Vidcast and Not Tomorrow, Season 7, Episode 7, which was titled Who Owns the Moon? We actually had Thomas Cheney on, based on, I believe, a blog article that you'd written at that time. And, I still read your blog. And you had another really interesting post about space law at the UN. And so let's talk a little bit about that. You start off by saying, I went as part of the Space Generation Advisory Council's delegation to the United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space Legal Subcommittee, which is a mouthful. So let's start off with, what is all of that? Who's the Space Generation Advisory Council?
Advisory Council is an organization of student professionals interested in space. We have about 1,000 active members from all over the globe. I'm the lead of the Space Law and Policy Projects Group, and so we focus on issues related to space law and policy. We've tackled issues such as suborbital flight, space mining, and we're currently working on a small satellites project.
And then let's continue on to the United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space Legal Subcommittee. It kind of self-describes itself, but kind of who is that subcommittee, and kind of like who has authority there? Like, how does that committee work?
It's a brilliant day to be on, because today in 1959 was the first meeting of the UN Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, or COPUOS. It started off as an ad hoc committee and then and has now become a permanent committee. This is the main UN body that deals with space-related issues. There are two subcommittees. There's the Scientific and Technical Subcommittee, who deal with more of the scientific aspects of dealing with any sort of space activity. And then there's the Legal Subcommittee, which deals with the subcommittee that produced the space law. The reviewers may be familiar with. Currently, I believe there are 83 members of the COPUOS. Any UN member state is entitled to apply to be a member, and you don't need to have signed the treaties, although it is certainly encouraged that states who are a part of COPUOS have signed the treaties. There are observers, and these are NGOs and civic organizations, or organizations like the European Space Agency. The Space Generation Advisory Council, as an NGO, is an observer member of COPUOS, which means we get to attend and we can make a statement, but we don't, for example, get to vote on any issues. COPUOS usually works as a unanimous decision-making body, run into 80 members. Makes the decision process rather cumbersome. There's 83 states with rather different opinions on a number of issues. To agree on the same thing is somewhat difficult, which is why there hasn't been an even attempt at the treaty since the 1979 Moon Agreement.
So you're working now, it sounds like, on some of the space resources. Like, we're looking at planetary resources and deep space industries that are looking to go out and mine some of these space-based resources, asteroids and whatnot. What were some of the things that were talked about there, and what are some of the issues that maybe we as space geeks don't think about when it comes to mining space-based resources?
After the U.S. passed the law of 2015, which the full name always escapes me, but it's usually referred to as the Space Act of 2015, and it's Title IV of this law, Commercial Space Launch Competitiveness Act. That's the full title. Title IV of this law is the one that supposedly authorizes U.S. citizens to conduct space resource activities. This was a law in the international, and it was discussed by a number of states at last year's session of COPUOS, and a single issue agenda item for this year's session. And so it was discussed quite in depth. It was quite a popular topic. And was subject of the symposium that was organized by the European Centre for Space Law and the International Institute of Space Law. And they discussed this in detail. And then it was the subject of deliberations amongst the delegations. There are a number of issues that come up. One of the big ones is simply the legitimacy of the US law on space resource activities. There are a number of states, particularly Russia and Belgium, who argue that this is a unilateral interpretation of the Outer Space Treaty, which is illegitimate, as any option of space resource activities needs to take place on the international arena. Obviously, the United States rejects this argument. It's sovereign right state to interpret the treaty however they want to do it. The United States, in particular, argues that this is a perfectly valid interpretation of the Outer Space Treaty, which indeed many legal scholars agree with. That it's a valid interpretation, not that it's the best one. So that's one of the main sticking points. It's just the legitimacy of national legislation, and of course, the United States is no longer alone on the national legislation front, as Luxembourg in particular are considering national legislation, and there's a few other states who have been rumored to think about space law. There are issues that get raised by space mining. Some of the simpler ones that probably do occur to people are just how do you regulate the activity, and this ranges from ensuring that it's done safely and sustainably with the avoidance of conflict, such as who gets the mining. If an American company gets started mining an asteroid, do we then exclude anybody else from mining that particular asteroid? Do we say to the Chinese example, you find a different asteroid to mine? Or is there a way that we can regulate the activities so that both parties mine without do issues? This is exacerbated by the fact that there's a qualification in what constitutes an asteroid. Two people trying to mine an asteroid 500 meters in diameter is going to be substantially different than two people trying to mine Ceres, for example, which is the size of a small moon. You get further issues, such as the fact that the treaties give a right of freedom of access to all states, and how do we reconcile the needs of safe operations with the treaty right of freedom of access. Then there's other issues, such as how do we ensure that this isn't a repeat of 18th and 19th century colonialism, in which the Western states scoop up all of the wealth and the developing states want to get behind. The one retort to that one tends to be that there's so much wealth there that they'll have to catch up. And so one of the key things that really comes out of all the discussions that we've had, and in fact the industry themselves are keen to point out, is the fact that this is very early days yet, and there are lots of unknowns. In particular, we don't know how asteroid mining is actually going to be carried out. So some of the technical regulations regarding, say, safety zones, for example, are kind of impossible to stipulate at the moment, because if you don't know if activity is going to happen, then you can't really regulate it. What I want to avoid are, we don't want to go down the route of either the Moon Agreement or the original UN Convention on Law of the Sea and discourage space development. But it's finding the balance.
So my question is, what does this matter at this point, right? I mean, we've got these companies talking about doing things, but we're still a really long ways off from being able to do anything that was described. We cannot go out and asteroid mine. We can't go out and grab any resources. We can barely make it to low Earth orbit right now with humans. So why are we talking about this now? Isn't this just going to, if we create policy and procedure on this stuff now, isn't that just going to hinder the industry as a whole?
I mean, that's a perfectly valid point, and that's one that industry often makes themselves in warning against premature regulation. However, industry also state that they would like some sort of legal certainty, so that when they go to investors and ask for money, they can say, yes, we actually are going to have property rights over what we extract. There certainly is a value in talking about it now. Particularly as there has been a tradition of being preemptive in space law. the Outer Space Treaty was signed in 1967. That was 2 years before the moon landings, and and some of these problems that might arise can't necessarily be fixed after the event. The reissue is a big one. And I've got a problem that's going to be a massive issue to deal with, and it was foreseen, but it wasn't seen. Nobody really felt that the legal regulation of the issue was all that important until we've now got the situation in which we actually really do have to deal with this situation. Plus the fact we want to avoid conflict in space, and a sort of clear regulatory regime, or even just sort of guidelines for how the industry should behave will hopefully help alleviate potential tensions between different companies, especially as these companies may be coming from different countries who have their own national agendas that they want to take on.
And then who's going to enforce all of this, right? So we create these policies and these laws, but how are these? Let's just say that I'm mining an asteroid and I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing. How in the heck is that enforceable?
Under the Outer Space Treaty, states are responsible for the actions of their nationals. So in the case of deep space industries and planetary resources, it's the responsibility of the United States government to regulate and supervise their actions. Or if they're operating from Luxembourg, it would be the government of Luxembourg. And that's why you get things like the Space Act of 2015, which is the US government exercising its obligations under Article 6 of the Outer Space Treaty to regulate and supervise actions of its nationals. There is the issue of once they're out there in deep space, how actually do you monitor? That is a question of governments. In the short term, all of these companies are going to be Earth-based. They're going to be, their revenues are going to be here. Their operating officers are going to be here. So you at least have practical jurisdiction over them in that sense. You may not be able to ban them, you physically stop them from doing something in space, but you can certainly punish them for doing something after the fact. And by what measures there are in relevant jurisdiction. On the international stage, and these are particularly when dealing with clarity between states, it's easier for the international community to punish a member with states.
All right, we are losing your connection something fierce. So what we'll do is the chat room is saying to go to audio only mode, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to fix anything. So what we'll do instead is let me know where, there was this great article you wrote. Where can people go to read the space law at the UN article that you've written?
That's my blog, and I don't remember the specific URL. It's thomaschiniblog.wordpress.com.
That's awesome. Let's go into a few of our general questions that we like to ask all of our guests, which is something I don't think we did last time you were on the show. I think this is much newer. So the first question is, Moon or Mars first?
Moon.
Would you go?
Yes.
Oh, you'll have to say it again. You cut out.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. When do you think humans will first land on Mars?
Mid-century.
And when do you think humans will set foot on the moon again?
Mid-century too.
Same time, around the same time. Interesting. And my favorite question: why space?
Because it's awesome.
That's also an awesome answer. All right. I encourage everyone. I know we had some bandwidth issues there. I do encourage everyone to go to Thomas's blog. It is absolutely fascinating. Space law is one of those things that we don't think about a lot. but it is going to be important for the future of humanity as we go out into space to make sure, as you mentioned, that there are guarantees that I'm putting all this time and money and effort into this project that I will actually be able to get something back out of it. So again, thank you so much for taking time. I know it's like 7 or 8 o'clock at night your time, but thank you so much for taking time out of your weekend to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, comments from last week's show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We've always looked to the stars. They guide us, give us comfort, help us find our way. We see ourselves out there. When we look up, it inspires us. And we long for something we don't yet know. We yearn to go there. So, we venture forth.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not.
Many think we stopped exploring. But we know our journey didn't end. We've only just begun.
Orion is functioning perfectly at this point.
Come with us and explore tomorrow.
That bandwidth really was too bad. That made me sad.
It was.
Yeah.
The things that I could understand were great.
Yeah.
And the blog really is quite fascinating.
It really is.
So totally worth it. Please go check that out
Yes.
for sure. A
But
lot of
everyone's like,
stuff-
this is why you check in advance. And I'm like, guys, you were here when we did the
We
tech
did.
check in
We
advance.
did.
So, we'll leave it as is. I realize it's really hard to understand, and I know that everyone's going to leave comments on it. Again, check out his blog. It is absolutely incredible. And, it happens, right? I mean, we're going to have similar issues when we try to communicate with humans on Mars. So get used to it. Get used to it, people.
Put an optical system in here. So that'll fix it.
That will fix
Higher
it.
bandwidth, so we'll work well.
All right, now, before we get into comments from last week's show, I want to give a shout out to all of the patrons of Tomorrow who helped to make this specific segment of this episode happen. These are people who have contributed $10 or more to this specific episode. We've also got our Orbital subscribers. They're people who contributed $5 or more to this specific episode. And, of course, our suborbital patrons. These are people who've contributed $2.50 or more to this specific episode. They're going to get access to After Dark as soon as we post it on demand. To find out how you can get access to all these nifty things and help crowdfund the shows of tomorrow, head on over to patreon.com/TMRO. And one quick other comment before we get into comments, ironically. I know. We aired the Cities promo two commercials ago.
Yep.
We're trying to make Cities, it will be more of a monthly show than it will be a weekly show, and some personal life stuff cropped up for Chris. Some good stuff, some really really good
Yeah,
stuff.
sometimes life happens, and
Yep.
that's totally okay.
In a good way, though.
In a good way,
Yeah.
a good way. So we're very excited for him, but we do
Yeah.
need to press TiVo pause on the on the episodes just for now. They'll come back hopefully in a couple months. And it should be absolutely incredible when we're able to bring.
Although I do love
Chris and Karen
all
back.
the love and support you guys are where's Cities? What's going on with Cities? Is Cities going to be okay? I really like Cities. That's fantastic. And the more that you guys can help out with contributing or let us know if you find a great story or anything along those lines.
yeah, absolutely.
We totally love that. And you know what? Even if it applies to space, maybe we might throw it into one of these shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's that.
I really loved their first episode. I thought it was really quite interesting. I'm excited to continue doing Cities, which we will continue to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also excited to bring on online science, which will be really cool. We'll have Lisa heading up science. So all of that should be resuming by the end of the year. So don't worry, it is coming back. Just
Yes.
not right now. All right, Capcom, hit me up with some comments.
All right, so as you recall, we had Emery Stagmer, also known as Vax Headroom, in our chat room, talking about reactions.
That was his apparently his 7th appearance. I feel like
Wow.
at 10
Between like
Wow, this
Vax
guy.
and Palm and Bailey,
Yeah.
like we need to figure out.
who has the most? I feel like,
Yeah.
you know how SNL has like those 5-time host
Yeah.
jackets or whatnot? We need something similar
We need
for
some sort
yeah.
of T-shirt or
Yeah.
something.
Exactly. Yeah, right?
That's the T-shirt for the episode.
Yes.
The T-shirt.
7-time host. All right. Is it a T-shirt on a T-shirt? Is that what you're saying? I'm confused
Oh,
now.
yes.
T-shirts on T-shirts on T-shirts.
Shirts on shirts on
We're
shirts.
getting off track.
Big surprise there. Okay, so first comment comes off of Reddit, and as this is a long one. Ready? This comes from Streetwind.
Oh my! Oh.
A wall of text.
It's got to be like 16 pages, I'm sure.
Who chose this one?
It's all right. Let's just get through it. It's all right.
You guys missed an opportunity to compare different control methods. That talks about how reaction wheels are better in high precision altitude control than spacecraft thrusters. I almost said space thrusters, sorry. But during the news segment, you mentioned Lisa Pathfinder having thrusters that can maintain spacecraft position and attitude within 1/100th of a nanometer, enough to measure the impact of a grain of dust on the spacecraft by examining the counter-firing of the thrusters. It would have been cool to hear his opinion on that. Even more so, these thrusters on Lisa Pathfinder are electrospray thrusters. I can't say that. Which coincidentally, you talked about in greater detail just 2 episodes ago during the interview with segment Orbit 10.14 with Natalia Bailey from Axion Systems.
I feel like we did touch on different thrusters a little bit and like how they serve different purposes. I guess we could have asked him that, but at the same time, I mean, hindsight's 2020. But at the same time, we did talk about why reaction wheels and reaction spheres are better in some scenarios than, say, our reaction control system.
Also,
right?
let's take this opportunity to empower you to take this into your own hands. As most of these people are online, have Twitter accounts, has Facebook accounts, are very active. That's somehow sometimes how we find them even. And feel free to start your own conversation. Now, we're here having our conversation with you, hopefully at all times. But always feel free to expand your horizons a little bit and step out on your own.
Actually,
Be
boom,
like,
that
hey,
was
I saw
amazing.
you on Tomorrow, and then I saw another episode on Tomorrow, and we were talking about this, and you were talking about that. Opinions much.
That's actually an incredible way to look at it. We are not the definitive final answer. We are simply the beginning, right? We get the conversation started. Please continue the conversation. Also, if you happen to be live, like we have, I'll turn this.
I mean, if we fail to do it, please mention it.
We have your chat like streaming to us on multiple screens in real time.
And
so that we
multiple
can-
chats. Like, I'm in Twitch right now. I think you've got VMix Social. You're in chat.tmro.tv.
We're watching all of it.
as much as we
Facebook,
possibly
Twitter,
can.
IRC, all in real time. And
I've got my eye on the chat room.
And if you have an interesting question, we'll ask it. I mean, that's the point of the show. Is
Definitely.
that we get you access to these cool, interesting people. Don't let me ask all the questions. I'm boring and stupid. You should ask the questions, right? I'll just be your mouthpiece, so to speak. So yeah, absolutely. Also, again, we just start the conversations. Please continue them. He's what is he? He's at Vax Headroom on Twitter, right?
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, totally. All right, so next comment comes off of YouTube from KFR, or K.
Kafer.
Hey, Kafer.
Says, really enjoyed the interview. So nice to hear about quote-unquote simple but ingenious inventions still being inspired by bare principles and lateral thinking. Love your work, Vax. Thanks again, Tomorrow team.
Yeah, I agree. I love this beauty and simplicity of what he's doing. Right?
Yeah.
You have, instead of having a bunch of wheels, have a sphere.
Right.
And I thought it was an incredible idea, and I'm really excited. Actually, I'm really excited for him to actually put this on spacecraft, and his invention will be orienting vehicles in space. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really cool, exciting moment. Yeah. Right.
So maybe we have to change his title from Moonbomber.
Actually, it's funny. He's in the chat room right now, and he just said he's blushing.
Is he going to be a sphericist?
Sphericist.
Right? Okay.
All right, next up.
We'll have to come up with something. Next comment comes off of YouTube from Scorched Core. I already like the name. Would it be better using an optical CASW or CASW in the reaction sphere as opposed to magnetic?
I don't know what a CASW is.
Me too.
Acronyms.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is why we have a no acronym policy. And actually, allow me to say once again, continue the conversations with Vax at Vax Headroom on Twitter, or he's actually, like I said, in our chat room. So feel free to just pop into our chat room. He's here often.
He said head spaceballer. I'm cool
That's
with
his
that.
new title.
Head Spaceballer.
I wish
I don't think it's the Canadian Association of Social Workers.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is exactly
it
why.
might be.
This is
Or the Council for the Advancement of
Allow me to
Scientific
say,
Writing.
this is why we have a no acronym policy on the show, because acronyms can mean multiple things, and even with context, you don't always know what the other person is talking about. So we will usually say what it is, and then follow it up with a possible acronym that you may hear in the future. But yeah, this is precisely why as long as I can remember, the show has had a no acronym policy. So that is not the answer you're looking for, but
I can't find anything.
We have a nap.
I'm also purposely delaying to see if Vax can answer the question, but he has not been able
We're
to
also
answer it.
purposely napping.
Purposely napping?
Yeah.
No acronym policy?
No acronym policy.
Either.
Yeah, no, Tars doesn't know. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Next comment comes off of YouTube from Anthony DeMonico.
Hello, Anthony.
Anthony.
Hello,
So,
Anthony.
keep the interviews coming, but really miss the roundtable discussions, especially the ones about rockets, space stations, and Moon-Mars bases.
Yeah, well, we'll do that, right? So that was a comment that was brought up during our Patreon hangout, which is, we love the interviews, but really miss the roundtable discussions. I think what was decided was what we're going to do is any month that would have 5 shows normally, that 5th show will become a roundtable discussion.
Cool.
So that's how that will work. I don't want to have too many roundtable discussions. I think we did that for years, and they're good. But I think that we are a way for you to ask questions of interesting people that you wouldn't normally be able to ask questions of. Right. We had George Whitesides from Spaceship, not the Spaceship Company, Virgin Galactic.
Tori Bruno.
Tori Bruno, right?
Yes.
From Nine Launch Lines.
ULA.
These are incredible people that you're not going to just be able to just walk up to on some random Saturday. It's not a
Right.
thing that would normally happen. So
Yeah.
we give you. Well, I mean, maybe it would. We give you the ability to go and talk to them and ask your questions and maybe have an interesting conversation about space. That's why we're here. So.
And we might have interesting discussions. We might have interesting roundtables, but none of us are the definitive authority on any particular subject that we're talking about, unless it has, something to do with Disney or something. But otherwise,
even then, we're not a definitive authority. I mean, we do, we do work in the aerospace industry, but at the same time, that doesn't make anyone necessarily a definitive.
We don't know everything.
I mean, I do.
The best way.
Although
All of us
I just
are better
earlier in the
together.
episode said I'm dumb and stupid, so
All of us are better together.
You can say that if you want, but that doesn't necessarily make it true.
In the chat room, Vax Headroom says, we thought of using an optical system, but it isn't necessary. I think he was going back and forth about the magnetic things going on. Anyway, so there's that.
There you go.
Like I
Answering
said,
the other question, not necessary.
Very active in our chat room as well
you
as
go.
on Twitter. All right, next comment comes off of YouTube as well. You guys are really, really hitting the YouTubes, which is amazing.
The tubes of you.
Well, because it makes it super easy to find comments, because nobody comments basically anywhere else.
Actually, I do want to say, YouTube is historically known for a horrible comment area, right? It's where the trolls come out.
Yeah.
It's just an awful experience.
Goodness gracious.
But not on Tomorrow. No. Our commenters on Tomorrow are incredible.
So good.
You guys, you follow our 5 rules brilliantly. You respect each other. You debate ideas and not
4
people.
rules.
There are
debates,
5 rules.
not arguments.
There are debates, not arguments, which
right.
is totally legit, right? I mean,
all 4 of the 5 rules.
all 4. You follow all 4 of the 5 rules. It is really TMRO.tv/rules. In case you're wondering what they are. It is. Thank you everyone for playing nicely and not necessarily having to agree with everyone, but again, doing it in a respectful way. It's really incredible. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, comments coming off of YouTube. This is from Nightlight ABCD or Abacadabra. Is the image of the Earth through the windows rotating? It seems that each show the Earth image has changed. And with that in mind, I watched a spot on the Earth and it seemed to be rotating from left to right. Is it a single image that changes with each show, or wallpaper or is that a constant live video feed of the Earth rotating? That is a
Well, you
fantastic
see,
question.
if I may,
Sure. Feel free.
You see, what's actually going on here is that Station 204 is in a very, very high medium Earth orbit, and we're also retrograde, so we're spinning the opposite direction. So we have this nice effect that it seems to be going slower, and we're like a little bit higher up, but we're actually in medium Earth orbit right now, and so that's the effect that you're seeing.
I kind of feel like the hologram would know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's not Earth, Mike.
Also, that is the other thing I was going to bring up.
I also
is,
feel like our pilot would know.
Yes.
the ship hologram should have known that we are not the ship's hologram.
To be fair, we didn't ever tell the ship hologram that we had moved.
My server's still on Earth. I'm sorry.
There's been a hard reset on the hologram. Right?
Here's a fun thing to do is if you try to find any sort of land mass or ocean mass that you would recognize on Earth or even on Mars, you will be unable to do so on the planet that we are orbiting. So it is not Earth that we are orbiting, and in fact, we will be moving the station. Next couple of weeks, the station will be in transit to its new planet, and I am excited for that. So next couple of weeks, you will not have Planet X sitting behind us, exactly. And then we should arrive at our new planet in 2 to 3 weeks, I think, is when we get there.
Something like that.
So that'll be kind of cool.
Just a little journey.
But as for your question as to what it is, I don't know. It doesn't look like anything to me.
Wow.
Next up, Capcom.
Just wow.
Getting applause from the control room on that.
We have one more. Yeah, we have one more.
See,
comment.
either you understand what I just did, or you don't at all, and you're confused. There's nothing in between.
I'm sitting here confused.
Yep. All right. Cool.
Amazing. Oh, Bellinger, that one's for you. So, YouTube, this last comment comes off of YouTube.
Also, you need to tell the story behind this because it's hilarious.
So this one, can we read the...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Thank you. Goodness. This one comes from Manib Khan. Hi, this is your Lyft driver. Thanks for the $14 tip.
The best part is that actually was your Lyft driver.
So this week, thankfully, again, I had full support of everyone here. That includes our director, Dutta, our pilot, Dutta, if you will, who has been doing an amazing job with all of these comments for the last umpteenth number of shows. I try to pitch in whenever I remember. Is really what it comes down to. But I do try to pitch in when I can, and life happens for all of us. And so, but Dutta has really taken up the reins on this one, and I want to thank him properly on air for all of these sorts of things. So this comment is not something I would have naturally chosen on my own, and I don't believe that anyone knew the story of this comment before it was chosen, which is also kind of hilarious to me that it got chosen. And it is kind of amazing. So, Muhammad, thank you. Thank you for commenting. If you're watching, hi. I remember. I'm glad you remembered. So that's awesome. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel, TMRO, on YouTube. Fantastic. I had to take a Lyft home. And I had this really great conversation with my Lyft driver about all sorts of different kinds of things. And I was really tired, which is another reason why I had to take the Lyft home, because I wasn't driving. And I did, in fact, give a $14 tip.
Accidentally.
I mean, it was a little accidentally. It was a really great ride.
Yeah.
So that was great. It was like a 40% tip, though. And
You're just really generous.
Which is totally a carry-on thing to do. And it wasn't like I regretted it in so much as, oh yeah, that was a lot. Oh well, like it's fine. Ultimately, it's fine. But I think it's hilarious that he remembered the conversation. He remembered.
Obviously, you guys, talked about the show.
what channel we were on,
And he commented.
Which is fantastic.
Extra bonus. That's why we use Lyft. That's why
this is probably like the best reply ever. We should just edit this little section right here and send it to him.
This is the whole show. Whole show right here.
So hilarious.
And I talk about my Lyft driver commenting on the show.
Manib
Stay tuned. Tomorrow begins right now.
So good.
Oh my God.
Really amazing.
On that note, that is our show. I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching. Next week, we've got the Fit Rocket Scientist coming on. That'll be Orbit 1018. If you were watching live, After Dark is up next. For everyone else, that'll be available on demand in about a month or so. Oh, that is a good point. I almost forgot. I'm a terrible human being. Ground support also helps to make this show possible.
That's right.
Donna had that queued and ready to go, and I totally missed it. Ground support. These are people who've contributed between $1 and $2.49. This is a crowdfunded show, so our ability to travel and traverse space and go to other planets is enabled entirely by ground support, suborbital, orbital, and escape velocity subscribers. So thank you, everyone, for helping to make this show go. For more information, patreon.com/TMRO. All right, on that note, I'd like to thank everyone so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Y'all need less caffeine and sugar. That's what I know. Thomas, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm sorry we had to cut that short. It's just your connection is not good, and like it would be good for a bit, and then it would crumble and die. And I was able to mostly make it through. We were able to understand most of it, and then there was a point that we hit at the end where it just took a nosedive. I'm so sorry we had to cut you short, though. But I think what you were saying and doing is truly interesting. So thank you again for taking time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, even with the connection issues, I think it was still a really good interview, and I think it was very interesting. Hopefully, we can have that fixed up. What did you do?
I hurt my finger.
Hopefully we'll have to bring you on again in the future and have that fixed up. Are you on Wi-Fi by chance, or is it just a bad network connection out there?
I think it's a combination of both. I am on Wi-Fi, and rural England doesn't have the best internet service.
We need to get a global satellite service that has, what did we determine earlier in the show, optical connection. Optical satellite. Well, you'd be able to do what, like 10 gigabits per connection? That should be enough.
Right?
Tom, what part of England are you in?
West Yorkshire.
Oh, interesting. Cool. My family's from just north of that in Northumberland. So my ancestors.
All right. Yes, I'm originally from Newcastle.
The holograms are talking to each other. That's weird.
So one sounds more mechanical than the other.
Well, we have max headroom on one side, and then hologram 2.0 on the other side. All right, Thomas, I don't want to keep you any later than you need to be. I don't think we'll be able to maintain a decent conversation after dark, unfortunately.
It was awesome, though.
But I do appreciate you taking the time out of your Saturday to come on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.
Have a great night.
See ya.
Thank you.
Wow, there's lots of national parks in England. That's cool.
There's a website, I forget the name of it now. I'll see if I can find it and send you a link, where you can figure out where your surname originally came from. Mm-hmm. And Higginbotham is like the core name for different spellings of Higginbothams, and like Higginbuckins and Higgins and Higgerbottoms, and like there's like whole Hug Your Bottom. That's one my parents made up, but that's fine. But yeah, you can and go like right down to like the county essentially, or like the area where it originally came from. It was really quite fascinating. Actually, I think it might have come from Dad Dog, now that I think about it.
Hug Your Bottom?
No, Hug Your Bottom came from my dad. For the
So Johnny Boy, we're a video show. We're not going into audio only mode. That is never a mode that we will ever go into.
For the fit rocket scientist, we're just gonna like only be shown from heads up, right?
Just us.
Because he's no joke. He's pretty fit.
Yeah.
Is he coming in studio?
Yeah, I believe so.
Great, Jared. You and I, we're gonna like get some girdles or something.
Okay.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, you sure?
Because or we're all being all black.
Are we gonna do a workout with him?
I think. Yes.
The whole show.
Yes.
That would be kind of amazing. I would last 25 seconds.
So amazing.
And then I would tap out. Oh, man.
We should do that in After Dark with him. Do a workout with him. Like, let's do a quick tomorrow workout.
Oh, God, no.
We did. We moved these chairs. Were you not there for that?
Actually, so should we begin the disassembly of Planet X now, or do we want to wait until after we're done?
Nah.
Well,
we need to do an
intro
open
first.
Yeah, we do need to do an intro before we destroy the planet. That's going to be a thing. All right, Mike, what was your favorite story?
And I'm sorry for going a little bit long, but each one of those stories was really interesting to me.
Actually, I thought that was okay because I was in pre-show. We already knew there was kind of a sketchy connection,
Right.
and so I'm like, I may have. It's funny. I'm like, I may have to dump out of this interview
Right.
if the connection doesn't maintain.
Yeah.
I didn't dump. I went as long as I could.
Yeah.
I think we got some information there.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I stopped feeling bad about it about halfway through your interview. I was like, oh, this will be short. So
Yeah.
that'll be okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so Johnny Boy, video is 80% audio, but with, again, we're a video show, so we're going to have both. If we can't have both, we'll do exactly what we did, which is we dumped out of the interview. We ran news long because we kind of knew in advance, and then we ran comments a little long as well. So that's how you compensate. It bumped you?
Yeah, I just got kicked out of the chat room.
Oh, that's a feature.
Amazing.
Not an error.
Okay, yeah, so Mike, what was your favorite story?
I think I'll say Skylon gets a new home.
Okay, Jared?
Vector Space launches.
All right. Say we had a off-world interview with slight connection issues.
An off-world interview?
Yep, and then you?
I don't know. And I say hi.
You'll get us into the show?
And I will get us into the show via my Lyft driver.
Tomorrow begins at this moment in time.
And Johnny
Thanks to
Boy,
my Lyft driver.
we're not a news show. We're a one-on-one interview, and you don't really see that very often on radio shows. Whoa!
That was amazing what happened.
That was not me.
That was
What
not
just
me.
happened?
Dunno. You still hear us, Mike?
Yeah, I do. I had a glitch.
Yeah.
And you guys got interrupted for a second.
The hologram's becoming self-aware.
I don't like this box I'm in.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Oh my god! All right, let's do this. Here's number
Do this quick
one.
before we lose the connection.
Number one.
So
number
Mike,
one.
Jared, Ben,
Wait, what
Carrie?
order are we doing this in?
Oh yeah, Mike, Jared, me, you.
Okay.
All right. And I'll say coming up.
Yep.
Here's number one. Coming up, Skylon gets a new home.
Vector Space launches.
I have an off-world interview. Unfortunately, we had some connection issues between planets.
And I've got comments, and one particular one from my Lyft driver. All that and more coming up on this episode of Tomorrow.
Ah, that worked. One and done.
Cool.
Oh my God, Neuropilot, the scene in Silicon Valley with the hologram call. That.
Oh, yes. So
Oh
good.
my God. Please state the nature of the planetary emergency.
You didn't actually say who your interview was with. Do you care?
That's okay.
Okay.
It'll be in the.
Yeah, I know. Just double checking. Oy vey.
What's that VMix thing? Can I get in on that?
Rebel
yeah,
Ace
go to that address.
Friesland.
But you can't comment back.
Rebel Ace
That's fine.
Friesland.
Yeah, Friesland.
Brexit, Friesland.
Or Friesland.
Don't worry about Brexit. That's not going to affect a lot of the space
might have
projects
to HTTP
because
in front of that.
even with that's Europe, that's UK breaking out of the European Union for the economic trade deals,
Do I need to
and
do
they are
the
still a
thing?
member state of
Ten,
the European Space Agency. So
Don't say it out loud.
Why? Because they can get onto it from here. It's a private network address. 1 to 5.
oh man, was I breaking out that whole time?
No.
No, you were
I'm sorry.
great.
You were listening.
You guys were.
You're shrinking though.
Way to like talk over him as he's trying to talk to somebody. By the way, this does not.
That's actually quite well done.
This does not include the Twitch chat room.
That's correct.
Your life.
Okay.
Don't let me go, guys.
I know. I can only.
Okay. That's too bad.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
Oh man, I am floating. I don't know why that's happening. Is that you playing with the... I don't know what's happening.
Oh, finally.
Again, the
back in
hologram's
chat.
becoming self-aware. I don't know what's happening there.
No, the Brexit doesn't affect their partnerships in ESA, so they'll still be doing stuff. Such as it is. Mainly Britain just
Dan 2C24.
contributes money-wise. They don't contribute a whole lot of hardware, so...
There's the rest of the question, by the way.
Jared's reading your question. He'll get to it in a second. So I wonder if I can show them. Are we gonna? Are we destroying the planet? It's time to destroy the planet. All right. Hologram, I'm going to wheel you off. Although you're free to watch us destroy a planet if you'd like.
I'm just going to turn around.
Dan, can you elaborate on that? Because I can't. If he's,
Hey, Jared, I saw a thing this morning. What do you think
Hey,
it was?
I saw something. What was it? If you can elaborate on that, I might be able to tell you.
Here, if I turn him towards us, will he be able to see it?
Sure.
That looks really good.
He'll act like he sees it. Does that count for anything?
All right. Here we go. Wait.
Oh,
hold on.
Oh, God, I'm just going to cry about this.
So this is
our burn, our trans
something
planet
burn
injection burn.
Well, no, this is the.
Oh my God!
What is
just
it?
got hit by a major asteroid. Look at those ripples. Oh God!
No, it was the Nexus.
Oh, God.
It was the Nexus missile, right, from Star Trek 1?
Yes.
We're gonna have to take all those staples out.
Oh, God, what a nightmare.
For anyone who ever wondered how we did it.
Did that just snap? Oh, it did. It just snapped, you guys. Can
So,
you see that?
Here's the deal. I don't know.
Right.
The planet's. Oh my God! It did snap.
It snapped.
So,
can you see that?
The wood backing stopped right here, right at this white line, and then we just moved to. This is a textured sheetrock. The problem is, the planet.
Oh my God, that is so painful.
The planet is not sticking to the textured sheetrock. And you could also see there was that arc that you could see of different color blacks. So we've gone through, we've got a new planet that's on order, but they have requested that in order to make it stick, we're going to do two things. First, the wood backing is going to extend all the way over so that it will stick. And second, they've also requested a high gloss paint be applied as opposed to the matte paint. As you can tell, it was super easy for him to pull this part off, but he's struggling with it on the wood. So I'm pretty sure this update will fix our planet issues. Yeah.
Oh, Dutta, the destroyer of worlds.
The Dutta is the destroyer of war. That is what we need to put on. Yeah.
New title.
I am become Dutta.
Oh, God.
I have become Dutta. Oh, man.
Are we going to put some of this planet on the back of the set so we'll always have something to remember it by?
You put those staples up.
Where?
For where? Yeah, staples need to come off.
You mean I have to do work?
Here. Ouch! Planet. You like that piece of the planet? Pretty good piece of the planet.
Oh!
Don't. What are you doing?
I smashed my finger.
What is happening right now?
Why do you keep messing with your
Why
finger?
do you hurt yourself?
So, goodbye, planet. You know, actually, if I were smart for the next few weeks, we've got. Let me show you. Let me see if I can show you guys. We've got LED. These are cinema grade LED lights in tubes. They look kind of like fluorescents. These are hard to attach, so I can pull it. So this is what lights up the planet. We've got a bunch of these sitting back here. I'll probably turn all of these off for the next couple of weeks while we wait. There's actually. Oh, shoot. Are you bleeding?
No.
What Patreon level is gets the planet?
So that's the other thing that hurts is that the planet is not cheap. It is many thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I can't get these dang staples out.
$2,000 a month is the Patreon level that gets the planet.
$2,000 a month.
Save it for you.
Yeah, and then if you guys were curious, we have those same lights up there, but that one is an 8-foot version. That's a 4-foot version.
These things are not coming
And then
out
I've got
easy.
modified Kino flows sitting back here.
Aw, that's so cute. Somebody asked, why don't we just take it off in one piece?
Thanks, Reddit.
Yeah, thanks, Reddit.
Yeah, I tried that. Following Reddit's instructions and it failed. So
Which one is mine? What'd you get?
So, Green, that's yours. So, Green Jim, as you said, it wasn't cheap and it looked fine. Yeah, no, it looked kind of fine, except it was coming off of the wall. Anywhere where the wood stops, like Ben was showing you, and the wall started, there's a texture on the wall, and it's not a light texture. It's pretty significant. And the sticker wasn't. It's a sticker. The sticker wasn't adhering to it. So there was probably, what is that, 6 feet worth of just hanging there that we stapled. It's stickered. We stapled it. We taped down the staples, and it still wasn't sticking. That's why Donna was able to go over there and just sort of flutter it around. It was going to fall. There was no question.
It wasn't a
about
question
that.
of if; it was a question of when. And the thought process here is if we schedule it, as opposed to it scheduling itself for us, then we can at least control it and figure out something to do for the show. If it had fallen during a show, I mean that would have been bad.
No, nailing it would not work. The sticker itself was actually ripping around the staples or nails
It was
to
hilarious.
come off. Because it's partly not just putting on the sticker, it's smoothing it out. And so you're stretching it ever so slightly. And the graphic doesn't work if it's not flat.
We're not doing
honestly.
green screen. In order to do a good green screen, you need something called Ultimat. They did just lower the price to $10,000 per channel. So I'm not going to spend $30,000.
Nobody has PBS's kind of money.
Yeah, PBS has scary money.
Nobody has PBS's kind of money.
It is kind of fun.
I know
you
it's
guys
the
can't
public
see
broadcasting
this,
system.
but we've actually
but-
got Mike facing us, so we've got the Mike hologram looking right at us. So we can. Yeah, hi, Mike.
Hi, guys.
Hey. Yeah,
Are you over here or are you over here?
No, we're almost exactly right in front of you.
Yeah,
What
there
are
you
you
go.
doing wrong?
Right there. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
the not sharp one.
So funny.
You know,
We're not going to be sanding the wall texture down, Tarantula. What we're going to be doing is that the sticker actually stuck to
You
the
think I've
part.
learned nothing during this exercise?
The sticker was actually adhering to the part that there was wood, and the area there wasn't wood that it was having to try and stick to the wall. It was not sticking there.
my
So
mic
we're
pack
going
got
to
stuck.
we're going to continue the wood onto the wall
In fact,
and
I
then
think it's
repaint
even,
it.
I think it's even these wood panels right here. These are the correct wood panels, right, Dada?
By the way, Dan, I looked at your photo, and since you're facing east, you're probably seeing Venus early this morning. So, yeah, Venus is really freaking bright.
Yes, until the new planet comes in, we're just going to have a quote-unquote blank screen, if you will. There will be blankness outside of our windows. I believe Ben was wanting to call that warp drive for some stupid reason. But yeah, we will be traveling through the cosmos to a new planet.
When the planet comes back, it will be in a different orientation.
Just go with it. He just likes it better that way.
It will be different when it comes back.
It will, in fact, be different.
For those of you who are Escape Velocity patrons, you've actually already seen a picture of what it will look like. Which side do I need front?
The new sticker will still be a planet.
Redwood side, yeah.
Yeah, the planet is going to be moving, so it's not going to be too dark or too flat for the big windows. It will be.
Yeah, I didn't like that was the other thing is I didn't quite like how it ended up with the orientation of the planet in the windows. So we made some tweaks to try to correct for that.
Oh man.
Oh, God.
Fun.
Won't be that color either.
Oops. Yeah, you're gonna have to take.
No stars in space. Don't worry.
There's no stars in space. That's how you know it's fake.
Rockets can't go to space.
In order for this planet to look real, it needs to be flat. Which is essentially what you said a minute ago, Carrier.
Oh my God!
It needs to be flat against the wall.
I think that would be hilarious to mess with people like that.
No,
It
what I
didn't
said
blow
was
up.
no. What I said was
I
in
know.
order for the graphic to look correct, it needs to be flat. You suck. Neither French press nor drip espresso. particularly Doppio Campana.
The rocket didn't blow up. It hit the
Is that a real
dome on
thing,
the
or
way
did you-
out.
I'm sorry, Mike, you said
Hit the dome.
And is that a real thing, or did you make that up?
a Doppio Campana?
Yeah.
A Doppio is a double shot. A Campana is with whipped cream. Con pana.
Oh, hey, look,
like
you can
cream.
actually see. You
Like
can
a
see
panna cotta kind of thing, or
You can see the
Panna.
signature.
God, you should see Mike's face as you do that. He got really scared for a
Don't
second.
touch my hair. That's gonna hurt your finger, Ben.
Yeah, careful.
You can
sharp.
see the
Finger
signatures.
of God has appeared.
See the signatures.
It is very much
stage
so
left.
Monty Python-esque. A gigantic foot from the sky comes down.
Goodbye, planet. What the other amazing thing? I need to get the time lapse going. You want this?
We're not going to put the moon or Mars behind us. It's going to be a planet of unknown origin.
The next frontier, guys. The next frontier.
That's correct.
The show is of tomorrow. There's no reason to hang out on our own backyard.
Exactly.
Yeah, Earth sucks.
We obviously already figured out anti-gravity. So if we figured that out, we figured out how to get to other planets.
My favorite after dark yet.
Yeah. Goodbye,
Yeah.
goodbye, planet.
I like Twicken's design for people who've been on 8 times. This would be good. I like that. Good one.
Oh my
Twick.
God,
That's
that
cool.
actually incorporates a lot. Like it's got the old Space Vidcast logo. It's got the Apollo 8 kind of thing going on. It's got the old Tomorrow logo.
that
It's
is
got the
ugly.
new Tomorrow thing, and it's all on like an Apollo-shaped capsule thing. It is all sorts of fugly, but it is a little bit amazing.
No, that looks cool. Yeah.
No,
good job, Billy.
it's fugly. I'm sorry, guys, it's fugly.
No, it is fugly, but it's really funny fugly.
If you shrunk the Tomorrow logo so that it was all the way visible instead of being cut off, then that would probably look really good.
When you say really good, do you mean still fugly?
Hi, Mini Dada.
There's a
I
mini
mean-
data?
Mini Dada's watching, see?
Hi, Kenyon.
I mean, it needs to be basic.
Ciao,
This
Ed.
Translates that to an actual patch.
What's up, Smelly Pants?
In any case, good job.
Here, let's
Chris
freak out
Mara
the little
says
kid.
gas giants are neat. How neat is that? That's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
Oh my God.
You just blew my nose.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think we can roll the hologram back in now.
Yeah, that might work.
Careful, careful, careful.
Mike, you are so good at selling it. I love it.
You do really do. You really do a fantastic. I'm going to be both happy and sad when we can finally afford to bring you in for each show because we're going to lose the hologram. I mean, we still need to do it so we can have the conversation because the hologram does break conversation slightly because of the delay. But yeah, it's actually a little. It's weird. When you take this camera and do it, you can see we actually have a backlight pointing through the windows to emulate the sun, which I guess is no longer there.
No, it's not.
Now you're going to have to move those.
Hang on, guys. Let me strap in before you move. Yeah. Yeah, knowing Ben, you would fly me in and then have me still do the hologram from the green room or something.
Someone said that. Someone said that you should be on screen, but in the next room.
Yeah, that
Said
was from
about
our
something
Twitch.
and like have my soapbox moment. And I'm just like, wait a minute, hang on, and then come out on screen and I'm just like, this is how it really is.
And then get back on.
And then go back. Yeah. And then go
Oh my
back.
God, that would be amazing. The entire internet would be like, what?
Oh, sorry.
What just happened?
Sorry. I forgot I have a microphone on me.
Oh, this is the other thing. We're making.
He's a mess today. Like a straight hot mess.
You are a mess today.
I'm like Kramer today.
Oh my God.
Everything's just going to hell. So.
A mobile.
So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that you can't see.
I think that Mike should actually not even necessarily be next door, but should just be down the stairwell.
It's creepy down there. I feel like that's
What? It's not that creepy.
so. When you come in the studio, a couple things have happened. First, we've debaged. We've made Tomorrow gray again. We've gotten the walls.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
A while.
You're stupid.
The walls are no longer beige; they're light gray.
Well, some of them.
What? I'm sorry.
Some of them.
Not all of them. That's correct. The edit room is still beige, and the Opera House is permanently beige.
Yeah, I think we should just always leave that room.
The Opera House is
MDF
supposed to be
beige.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, my joke last night in Discord was it'll take 10 coats of paint to fix the Opera House because even after we wipe down the walls, the paint will still be sticking to MDF and just fall right back off. So we'll have to keep painting it over and over. 50 Shades of Tomorrow. Yeah. So anyhow, lots of paint. We have these old school railings from please don't cut yourself. Old school railings from 1970.
Now go ahead and make for better TV.
They're all sorts of awful. Those have been ripped out and being replaced with these nice metal railings. There was a screw up in the shipment.
Nice.
Let me see.
No, you can't see.
Wow.
There was a screw up in the shipment, so we're waiting to get those back. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Yep. And I think it's the right size too.
I know.
He's like,
Invalidating rule number 5.
he's like I made them myself, Stooge.
But they gave me the web so that I can actually put all of this up.
So hang on. Let's see
Can we
if
use this for something?
let's see if we can. Let's see how well we can emulate this, so you guys can.
Put it on the other side.
Hang on. I think I can get this camera a good chunk of the way out there. Hey, Dutta, you want to grab just the T so we can maybe try to. Let's see if this camera has any battery power.
Probably not.
Well, it actually has been off of its charger for it's 96%.
Please don't die.
Okay, it's going to be dark, but whatever. And then let's see if we have enough fiber optic cable.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gods, please don't die.
Get that planet out the way.
Yeah, the planet was in the way. It just kicked it. That's right. Our camera's connected via fiber optics. For real,
I feel like today is
I'm not
not
kidding.
a good day for
They really
working
do
on
connect via
stuff.
fiber optic cable.
Yeah, are you sure you want to work on stuff? I've already hurt myself 23 times today, so.
Yeah, you. Oh, maybe it is too big. Ah, crap. Well, whatever.
Ooh, careful. Ooh. Sorry.
That T would make a lethal weapon.
Okay. There we go.
The handle on that thing, and just.
So
While you're
go
doing
punch
that, I'm
up
going to have
on
a
air.
Tim Tam.
Boop.
Could
So-
you mute Jared because he's just going to eat on.
That's the T for the Tomorrow logo. That's going to be going all up on. Sorry, I'm working on. Wow, this is all sorts of messed up.
You're sitting in front of the camera, stupid. God, what's wrong with you?
Closer to that, I think. Oh my God.
So much destruction, so little time.
Like that-ish, somewhere in there. So anyhow, that's what's going on, and so that's going to be nice. You've got step off, so it's going to be away from the wall a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. It looks. I wish it was more like that. That's all right. It's fine.
Space
Dumb.
Kyle. Unhelpful Jared is
What's
unhelpful.
wrong with you?
I may have to put another coat up on there. So this is one of the, other than gray, this is like the only colored wall we have, and then
Space purple.
God,
The doors are black.
yeah, the doors are black. God, we have new. These are the the ceilings. The ceilings have been replaced and the lights have been replaced. So there you go. Oh, let me punch up the other camera.
Ooh, button.
Great.
He pushed a button.
Boop. There you go. So it's coming together. I do like that. It's a
What's
brush.
happening?
It's a brush metal too.
Who's the sheet?
Burndy, will we actually see this in the show? No.
What are we doing?
You won't. This is simply for.
Nope.
Nope, you won't. It's simply for when people show up and they're either guests in the studio or they're just watching the show. We want it to not look like. We don't want it to look bad, so Actually, we want to put our best foot forward at all times, be it on or off camera.
Okay.
Try, Jared, for the love.
Do or do not.
Man.
Do not die.
God.
I'm waiting for them to break.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
For Pete's sake.
Sorry, I'm really out of it today, so.
God.
Cameras.
Just don't put me near things.
man.
It's dangerous.
This is.
I forgot there was a camera here.
I tried to give you the simple thing.
Oh man.
Give you the benefit of the doubt.
God,
see
I'm
this?
just.
You can, kind of. Wait.
There was a moment we just had right there.
I see.
All right,
Is,
here we go.
ooh. Whoa, that's the original that came in?
No.
All right.
Well, I mean, the middle, this
Far
part,
side.
that's the.
Wait, what are we showing?
I'm showing
Yeah, that,
my Instagram account so you can kind of get it. So the top picture and the bottom picture are of the planet, the dead planet, as it were.
Up on the table.
Oh.
And the middle picture is the TMRO logo in. Sorry, I keep moving. And all cut out. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. Yay, Mikey.
Photon video. I don't have my emergency
Yeah.
hologram
Very amusing.
emitter yet.
Yeah.
Backside
Yeah.
comes 3D.
A little Star Trek Voyager? Is that what we got going on
Yeah.
right there?
Seriously, why did
What
you
are we
not
gonna be doing
mute
now?
Jared?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do too whenever I come out on the soapbox. Put
Yeah,
on my
totally.
emitter and come out there.
Tiny 4 3/4.
Uh-huh.
It's weird because the hologram's sideways in here now.
Right. I know, it looks funny over there now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can I
So
take my
like,
equipment off?
like this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't need you for that.
That's awesome.
I muted you. Are you coming back?
I'm taking my microphone off.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Watch that.
I should have taken it. I should have brought the camera out here so you could see down the stairs, because that's a cluster. We're trying to put our best foot forward, but right now it is anything but. It is a mess in here.
Oh, I just got kicked.
Awesome, guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was weird.
You want some more Nautilus X vids?
There we go.
Well, Nautilus X was just a proposal and they didn't make it, so there's nothing really to talk about. Oh yeah, and the guy who proposed it retired, so.
Whew.
Well, my microphone's about to die, and I do not have any extra batteries on me, so
Thank you, Mike.
I'm going to sign off.
It was a
you, Mike.
fantastic show. Thank you for your help. We'll see you next week.
All right, it's a good show, everybody. Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
See you, Mike.
You
Hologram
too.
out.
Bye. No one die.
Right?
This one. It's going to be this one.
What?
He said, "No one die." So it's going to be you. Actually, I think we're.
It's gonna be me.
I feel like we're winding down.
Yeah, see, this is.
Are we still broadcasting?
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're winding down.
P.S. It's also Free Comic Book Day, so for those of you in the U.S., go out to your local comic book store and get some free frickin' comics, man.
Let's see if we can figure out which one. I think we're gonna have to turn off
Need espresso stat? Yeah, no joke.
that. Is it this one? Boom.
Cool.
That's my magic power right there.
Yeah, what did you do?
I turned off all the background lights.
Neat.
Neat. Azam.
Who's up for the interview next week? It is the Fit. What's his name?
Fit
rocket scientist.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I have one other light that's pointing backwards that I need to figure out how to shut off. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool show, I think. Oh, there's a whole bunch of crap at home.
He's a really nice kid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, met him at Yuri's.
Yeah, and actually, he works in the industry, but same problem we have, which is you can't show up representing the company that you work for without
Right.
going through the marketing team and all the other fun jazz. So he's not showing up representing that company, but he can still speak to the industry.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, because he does still manage to find time to
Oh my
work
God.
out while maintaining what?
Tarantula.
What?
We should all wear space muscle t-shirt or
Oh,
muscle
yeah.
t-shirts.
Y'all don't want to see me in a muscle t-shirt. Let me explain something to you. Next episode from Jared's hospital room.
Burndy, when will the next episode of Cities air? That's actually a good question. We don't actually know just yet.
Right. We're thinking in the next couple of months. So probably not one in May. Probably not one in June. We are hoping to have one in July. But it very well might be August. And or it might not be until after Science airs.
Yeah, we may bring both Cities and Science up around the same time.
The thing is that congratulations to Chris. He got a new job. So when you start a new job anywhere, there's that transition period. And, he really should. It's a fantastic place that he's working at. And, we wish him all the best. And we want him to focus on his life. We want him to focus on the things that are important to him. Not that Cities isn't, but it's definitely tomorrow, as we have talked about many a time, at least you and I personally, it takes up a lot of time.
It does.
This is essentially another part-time job, and not everyone has the time for that kind of thing. He's got a family, he's got a kid, he's got a brand new job. There's a lot of things going on. Lisa's voice?
Yeah, so how do we get Lisa's voice to sound like that of the Tomorrow Cities promo vid? That's hilarious. That's not Lisa's voice.
I know, I don't know why everyone thinks it is.
It is not Lisa.
They know it's not me.
No, it's not. It's professional voice talent. It's actual voice. We hired actual voice talent, and those are legit.
There's one phrase she uses that it cracks me up every time.
Like it's not.
Towering buildings.
Yeah, towering buildings. Towering buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my hammer?
I don't know. Where'd you leave it?
I don't know.
Maybe who stole it from you?
Yeah.
Maybe for the first time.
Yeah, there were a couple phrases that didn't quite end up like I was expecting, but I think they still worked. Someone also asked, can we do Ocean's show, pretty please? Tomorrow Ocean's is in the
It's in
lineup.
the mix. It's just a million years away.
Hang on. So I don't need my earpiece anymore because there's no remote anything.
Oh, right. I just like to hear my own voice.
I know. That's not untrue.
Also, I have an awesome voice. Yeah, you gonna strip for me? Yeah. Yeah, you are. That's good. Much better. Because then it's just... Yeah? Are you trying to be seductive right now? Because no, it's not working. No, thanks for asking, though. Appreciate that. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah.
Rule number 5.
Yeah, what?
Rule number 5.
There is no rule number 5. Isn't that fantastic? It's so good. Yeah. Tomorrow's Science should be coming in the...
End of the year.
Yeah, in the fallish time frame. Fallish into winter time frame. Welcome tomorrow, kitty cats.
I have to enter this way. It's the strangest After Dark ever.
I mean, no, not really. There was the After Dark where I wasn't wearing pants.
Find it?
Boop. We don't talk about rule number 5.
That was me being a stud.
Fly Lisa out for Tomorrow's Science? That would be amazing, don't you think? Fly Lisa out from Australia for Tomorrow's Science. What? Yeah, what Patreon level is that?
Flying her out every week from Australia?
I'm not going to fly her out every week. I'm flying her out once. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
That's it. Actually, we don't have to fly her out. Can we officially hire...
I don't know. Oh, hire.
Lisa?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
You said no, and so I stopped. And then you were like, what? Like,
Well, I realized you were going to ask the
Welcome
question.
to tomorrow's set building today. Watching everyone run around doing stuff. I'm your host, Carrie Ann. Stay tuned. Tomorrow begins right now.
We're building a wooden spaceship.
Let's move this, yeah? No necesito el mico.
It's wood. And a spaceship.
That's what she said. Yep. Yeah, you're used to it. I know. It's weird. Sorry. Phrasing?
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
Howard Hughes would be proud. Very good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get the reference.
Uh-huh.
I'm all proud of myself for getting the reference.
For knowing some other crazy effer who's building things with wood? Building what everyday astronaut would Photoshop. Mike is from the
One hand
mythical
away.
lands of Arizona. You only see one guy working. Very, very astute.
Ready? That's how it works.
Right?
No, that's how I work.
Aha! See what you did there.
Then I complain about it.
I mean, yeah.
I think the term you were trying to say. Bitch.
Batch.
Yeah.
Go with batch.
Yeah.
Sugar mine batch.
Hey, did you want to put the time lapse on or no?
No.
Kim. Show me the blueprints.
What?
Minnie Dutta has a bit of Howard Hughes in her, with repeating recently, I think, show me the blueprints.
Remember that scene?
Oh, goodness.
Don't die. Don't pull a Jared.
Has Jared stopped bleeding yet? I don't know, Jared, have you stopped bleeding yet?
Wasn't bleeding to begin with.
Wasn't bleeding to begin with.
Ooh, Hubble.
Yeah, nice. Noise! I love when that happens at work. We just hear, and then, and we're like, oh, noise. Thanks, guys.
Are you still broadcasting? Or?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm not just talking to myself. I am actually talking to the chat room. They're responding to me too. It's fantastic. I don't always say everything that comes into my head, but when I do, it's for the chat room.
Yeah, I'm not bleeding, so I'm good.
Yeah. Your finger's still bandaged though. You're not bleeding.
This happened actually out in Joshua Tree.
Oh, that was Joshua Tree.
So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, watch out. Kind of thing. So.
Oh, I don't know if we really need another mic, do we? They're saying, Jared, get a mic.
You get a mic.
/ do not tip over that soda.
You get a mic. Oh well. Don't worry, it's just brown water.
Jared, can you grab a pencil from the table stuff, please?
Can you stop the hammering? Probably not.
We're building a planet.
We're building a planet. We got the beat. We've got the beat. We've got the beat.
Yeah, we got the Can you please hammer a little more quietly?
It is caffeine-free Coke. Actually, it's caffeine-free Diet Coke. So if Mike is a hologram, does that make us just command line processes?
Who, us?
Dar Sim was asking. Dare Sim? The planet of wood. Tomorrow's surgery edition, patching everyone up.
I don't have a TV in my house, so.
You don't have a TV in your house?
No.
Oh, that explains why you didn't understand the Westworld reference.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody was asking if I watched
Dang.
if I watched something on PBS, but I don't have a TV.
Oh.
So.
This is also true. You do not need a TV to watch PBS. Tomorrow gaming channel? I don't game.
No.
Ben said no.
Maybe, but not,
Ben said
not
maybe,
with our current.
but not with our current something. And then he just did not finish that sentence.
None of our staff has time to game.
None of our staff has time to game. That's a really good point, Dutta, actually. Johnny Boy's pointing out that PBS is on YouTube. Kyle says HBO Go. Also a good one. Hubago. So I forgot to tell you, Ben. I was walking out of work yesterday or the day before. I don't know. And there was some guy with 3 girls who he was giving a tour to. Sure. It sort of looked like his sorority sisters kind of situation. Sure. And one of the girls turns to the other 2 and goes, "Oh my God, I feel like that. What's that show? It's like West Show or West Place." And another one goes, "Westworld?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's how it feels right now." And I was like, how does this feel like Westworld at all? I was so confused. Yep.
You guys couldn't hear that. But the unit next to us, we just knocked something off their wall.
You're going to have another little old lady come by.
Maybe there was an earthquake?
Oh, Jesus.
Go. Thank you for the lead.
Holy cannoli, is that loud?
Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm sorry, it's loud.
Remember when some guy was visiting England at a bar talking about rockets he married a British actress? Fargo. Yeah. Oh no. You don't say. This is a business complex, yes. Although it's Saturday, so nobody's here and nobody's next door.
Before you go too far, do we need this many nails? Because every time there's a nail, it jettisons out on the... We need to put the fewest number of nails in here as possible. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
obviously... We need 2 and
Macos?
Yeah, that makes sense.
What will tomorrow's science be about? Name is kind of vague. Yes, tomorrow's science is a little bit vague, but so is tomorrow's space, if you look at it that way. Lisa Stojanowski is going to actually be heading up our Tomorrow Science channel. I know that she has a tendency to like to talk about the science that's going on, particularly on the International Space Station. She has a very strong bend towards growing things, for instance, but she does also like to talk about moustronauts and other living organisms that are on the International Space Station besides just the human beings. So if I was to venture a guess, I would imagine there would be some sorts of things like that. I don't actually remember. Do you remember what Lisa's studies is in?
I don't think that's in the stud. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Biology, something?
Yeah, I think she is studying about biology, becoming a biologist. So I think that's kind of why she leans that way. Kind of like Tomorrow's Space. We talk about a lot of different things, but we've always kind of had a bit of a human spaceflight bend or lean, if you will. Of course, a little bit more towards new space than old space, but still celebrating old space, and all of that has given us, really broken the ground for new space to, the mantle that new space really stands on, for lack of a better term. And so I would imagine that science would also be in a similar vein. They always tell you, if you're writing a script or you're writing a book or you're writing a short story, that you go with what you know, right? Because you write about the things that you know best about. So with Lisa having a biologist background, I would assume that she would go along those lines. But again, if there's something in particular that really interests you in the quote unquote science category that you would like her to speak about, I'm sure she'd be happy to look into it, do a little bit of research on it, and then present it as best she can. Invite Bill Nye onto the show. Bill Nye's a little bit busy at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've noticed.
He's kind of saving the world.
He's kind of saving the world, as you will. Bill Nye Saves the World on Netflix, if I remember correctly. I've watched a couple of episodes now. Interesting. A little bit different way of doing a show. But good and informative, and leaves you, again, much like this show does, a little bit of room to say, okay, now I've heard about that, or now I have a little bit better understanding about that. I'm going to go out and continue to do some more research on said topic, whatever it is. So, Neil deGrasse Tyson is too expensive, as a matter of fact. We think it's $25,000 per speaking engagement. Bill Nye, besides doing his Bill Nye Saves the World TV show, is also heavily involved with I almost said Planetary Resources, the Planetary Society. So he's a busy guy. Busy guy doing a lot of stuff. So like in general news, again, talking to, you just gotta go, to be fair, tomorrow Space didn't always have that much of a focus. We didn't have this format down. There were a lot of things that we were trying out when we were first starting out. So, tomorrow's science might need to find its groove, as it were. I want to paint the background Vanta black as well, but that's probably not going to happen because they want it to be high gloss so that the sticker can really stick to it. Robert Zubrin. We have had Robert Zubrin on before, although it would be nice to have him on again, for sure. Tomorrow Technology. Tomorrow Technology or Tomorrow Cafe. Actually, I like Tomorrow Cafe. Tomorrow Technology is definitely a possibility. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're trying to go in any... Here's the thing, right? We all do this on basically a volunteer basis. So it's if you don't have the time for it, and it can take up a lot of time, like a lot of time. So you have to be willing. You have to be able. You have to, know what you're talking about. Not anybody can just. Not that I'm doing a fantastic job, definitely, don't get me wrong here. But not everybody is feeling uncomfortable in front of a camera. Not everybody feels like they can talk coherently in front of a camera. And particularly about something specific. Ben sure doesn't. But ignore that. We still let him do it anyway. And technology moves very, very fast. I think technology, we actually had a technology vidcast back in the day, and we were on 5 days a week for about an hour at a time. It was crazy, and it was fun. It was really fun. But yeah, actually, tomorrow artificial intelligence, I think tomorrow artificial intelligence could totally fall under the category of tomorrow science very, very easily. And like Ben says, all the tomorrow things kind of flow through and to space. So if you look at it, if you ever look, this is how you know we're real Disney nerds. If you ever look at the old school logos for Epcot, right? There was Spaceship Earth, and then there was like Horizons and the land and, motion and all these different things. But they all kind of flowed through and to and for Spaceship Earth, which was right in the middle. And that's kind of how we see tomorrow's space. Tomorrow as a brand is kind of in the middle, and we've got space. We're doing pretty good there, and we've started up cities, and then we've got science, and maybe we'll add on cafe, and eventually we'll do oceans. It'll be over here somewhere. But we're going to go all of those and how they all relate to space, because that's kind of what we are. We're all here cohabitants on this little blue marble. But yeah, cafe, I don't know. I think cafe would be cool. Cafe, you could do a lot of different things with. You could talk about food that were the newest technologies in food right now. Because we're doing a lot of just assume that you can hear me. We're doing a lot of things with 3D printing of food. And not just and making pizzas out of it. But we're actually designing these different foods with 3D printers, chocolates and sugars and all those different sorts of things, which I think is really fascinating. There's the food 3D printers where pretty much anything that can be distilled down to a fine powder can be printed. Anything. So which is really, I think that's so cool. And, there's cafes in different parts of Asia where they can take your picture and then they can print it right on top of your latte. That's really fascinating to me. I think cafe, you could totally do some stuff like that. Because then you could take anything that's been freeze-dried and then grind that into a powder and then print it out that way. So you could still have astronaut ice cream, but that looks like in the shape of an astronaut, which I think is hilarious just in and of itself. So there's a lot of different technologies going on there, but then above and beyond that, you could still talk about like how you think that cafes are going to get their food, on a different planet or on a spaceship, for instance. It's not always going to be computer tea Earl Grey hot, right? Like somewhere along the line where we may get to replicators, and how do we get there, and what does that actually mean? Printed noodles, yeah, for sure. Yeah, talk about espresso, coffee, tea, campanas. Tomorrow recipes. I don't know. Maybe that could be part of the cafe. Tomorrow Tavern. There's a really great coffee place or coffee shop in, of all places in the universe, Waco, Texas. And it's called Dichotomy Coffee and Spirits. I usually just refer to it as Dichotomy. And they've chosen that wonderfully duplicitous name because in the morning they have this fabulous coffee bar. There's only like 10 or 12 drinks on the entire menu. And little known fact, I'm not sure if you were aware, but Dr. Pepper, one of the initial Dr. Pepper bottling plants is in Waco, Texas. And one of their coffee drinks features Dr. Pepper. It's not my favorite, but it is really interesting nonetheless. And their coffee bar is just absolutely gorgeous, a little bit throwback. They have some really new technologies there going on in coffee and spirits, if you will. They have a cold brew system that's one of those like Japanese, like really long time to drip sort of cold brew systems, which is just gorgeous and also delicious. And then on the back side of their cafe is a complete bar where they make a lot of their own, not necessarily spirits, but like bitters and other flavorings that you would have in different alcoholic, lovely beverages. And they like to also bring in coffees from all over the U.S. So kind of like a co-op to a certain extent. So they'll be featuring a particular coffee from Los Angeles or from Seattle or from New York or from Iowa, wherever there's a really cool, interesting, different sort of coffee brand that they can have there. And I thought that was really cool. Waco is a strange place. But yeah, no, it's really interesting. And the alcohol part is also really interesting. Dichotomy is very, very cool. If you ever happen to find yourself in Waco, Texas, it's actually a really great place to go. Dichotomy Coffee and Spirits. And if any of you are fans of the show Fixer Upper, that would also be in Waco, Texas, and they have their silos out there. They brought a lot of money into that city, and it's quite beautiful. They build basically all the houses there. Yeah, they redo all the houses out there for sure. Isn't Waco fairly close to an unnamed space company? I mean, I guess Texas is a really, really big place. So, sure, there's probably one or two space companies out in Texas, don't you think? Yep, Dance TC24, that's exactly it. Really, really love. There was a cult there, and you could still say there is. Isaac Arthur is pretty awesome. All right, well, let's look into Isaac Arthur. Tell me more about Isaac Arthur. Why is Isaac Arthur awesome? Dar Sims, Photon Video, and Prismera. Tell me more about Isaac Arthur. I'm not familiar with the name. Tomorrow Branch Davidian. Yeah, why not?
Let's not. That's a little too hot of a topic. So let's not.
Science and Futurism with Isaac Arthur. Okay, cool. I also really like, oh man, what is his name? Hold on, I'll find it. Jason Silva. I also really like Jason Silva when you're talking about futurism and all those sorts of things. Jason Silva sort of fits into that category, but he also kind of doesn't. Yeah, Jason Silva does Shots of Awe, if you're familiar with that. Cody from Cody's Lab. And he's a Mars One candidate. Perfect, thank you. Tomorrow Arts. I feel like we haven't really excluded art from any of our conversations. We don't have a particular focus necessarily, a whole lot on art specifically, but I don't feel like we've ever really excluded art. We all get really excited about pretty pictures, regardless of where they're coming from. Those shots, just about any picture from Cassini right now is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. They almost look fake. They're so beautiful, which is a little weird to say, I guess. Ray Kurzweil. Yeah, Ray Kurzweil would be amazing. Tomorrow Disney. I don't think Disney needs anybody else really promoting them. I think they're doing okay all by themselves.
Rather saturated. So.
Quite. Vex is saying Cody's a great science communicator. Perfect. If Cody's such a great science communicator, maybe we should have Cody on Tomorrow's Science instead of Tomorrow's Space, actually. Right? Tomorrow MDF with Dutta. That is funny. Tomorrow Carpentry with Dutta. Yeah, that actually would be fantastic. Yes, I am familiar with Kurzweil. Cody could be on every Tomorrow show. I mean, sure, why not? Tomorrow I see you with Jared. Maybe not.
Actually, Dutta could help us put a staple through my finger.
I have a device for that.
Yes.
It's really effective.
Disney's only remaking old stuff anyway. Hardly tomorrow, more like yesterday. YSTDY. That's funny. When is the SLS roundtable? Tomorrow, banter with Carrie Ann. I think our newest roundtable should be due up in July, right? Whenever there's a month with 5 Saturdays in it. I believe we said that the 5th Saturday would be the roundtable. I suppose, are we taking votes on what the roundtable should be about? Maybe. I think we should take votes on what we think the roundtable should be about. So that. Yes, we are remodeling the set. Sorry, Twitch chat room. I was kind of ignoring you for a little bit. I apologize. Oh my goodness. Good times. We don't have a round table. We have a half round table. Does that count? We'll be sitting in a half circle. Does that? Tomorrow Cafe could just be Carrie and making some complicated beverage while ranting about her pet peeves of working at the coffee shop. I think my pet peeves of working at a coffee shop are pretty much everybody else's pet peeves of working at a coffee shop.
What kind of espresso do you have?
I don't have espresso, but thanks for asking.
Espresso, please?
No, you can't have espresso.
Do you know how much espresso you have?
Ugh, okay. Enchiladas espresso. Coffee shop peeves people. Yeah, well, Tomorrow hairstyling with Jared. Yeah, I'm into that. We could do that.
It would literally be like a space pod.
It would be a space pod?
It takes about 3 minutes for me to do my hair.
3 minutes?
So, yeah.
It's less time it takes me to do my hair.
So.
It's kind of too bad.
I'm just really good at doing that.
Although it was raining today and Ben made me get out of the car and get rained on. So I was afraid that my hair was going to get all weird and stupid.
My hair does not care about rain. My hair laughs in the face of rain.
Your hair laughs at rain? What did you say? Maybe I should get a mohawk?
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Maybe I should get a mohawk.
Do it.
Can we wait till after the party?
Or maybe for the party.
No, not for the party. Not gonna do that. Emergency umbrellas. Tomorrow energy. Yeah, tomorrow energy very well might be a thing in the future. I think for now, those sorts of things might come under the category of tomorrow science. There's a lot of interesting things coming out of MIT for sure. What?
I think it'll be more cities than science.
Energy will be under cities, not science?
Energy and transport will likely fall under cities.
Ben is saying energy and transport will likely fall under cities. So that means anything that's sort of boring or hyperloop would fall under cities then, is my understanding? Yeah, at least initially. Sure, I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
It kind of depends on what the story is.
It does depend on what the story is. I have no idea where Ben is, by the way, while he's talking to me.
I'm right here.
I know you say that and I don't see you.
He's floating in space.
See me? The screwdriver?
Oh, there you are. I'm not dead yet. I'm still alive. Because poor peasants don't use energy. Yeah, but I mean, housing, cities. Here's the thing, right? Tomorrow space, tomorrow cities, tomorrow science. They're all relatively short words. Calling it tomorrow community would be even more of a broad description than tomorrow cities. And so while we have called it cities, I firmly believe it's much more like tomorrow communities. So even if you live in a much more rural area, even if you live in the bush, as it were, you still are part of a community. There are still other people around you, whether it be your family or your friends or your gypsy brethren, like whatever's going on, like you have a piece of a community and energy, whether that be clean water, whether it be lights at night or free internet, whether that be by hand crank or from lithium-ion batteries, right? Like somehow all of those things touch just about every community. And so anything that would touch any community, I could see that falling under the category of cities. Kenyon's talking to me. I am Smelly Pants. I'm talking right to you.
Hi, Smelly Pants.
Oh, this has become a little bit more of a hangout. This is true.
Hi, Boo.
Boo boo. Tomorrow's Space Vidcast. Yeah, why not? When are they installing? When are they installing the buttons for my captain's chair? No joke. I do need some sort of access from here. Yeah. The other thing about cities is that also opens the door or continues to have the door open for things like low-income housing, but it's also off-the-grid housing. There's a lot of different companies that are doing these like emergency shelters, whether it be from flooding so that you're floating pods, or because of snowfall and maybe you're in a completely round situation, you could have like a solar-powered roof. There's a lot of different things that are like that. And an Uhura earpiece. And I really, again, I sort of believe that anything along those lines would still fall under cities, even though cities is slightly of a misnomer at that point. It's definitely more like community. But tomorrow community, is almost too broad, too vague of a title. We wanted something that gave you a slightly more clear definition of what you could expect, even though, again, cities is relatively broad, if that helps you all. If that makes any sense, I guess. But I want to see all those different kinds of housing and living situations brought to light in cities. I want all those different transportation solutions brought to life in cities. Not just talking about boring in tunnels, but boring in all of the tunnels, and not just boring the tunnels themselves, but the transportation systems, and maybe gondola systems, and maybe personal rapid transport systems, and monorail systems, and all those kinds of things, and autonomous cars, and autonomous trucks, and all of that, to me, still says cities. If you're going between cities, that still counts, right? If you're trying to live outside of a city, I think that still kind of counts. I feel like that's all just sort of part of cities to a certain extent, but then eventually also kind of part of space too, right? Because if we can perfect those things, or if we can figure out some of those things down here on Earth, we might be able to use those same sorts of things on spaceships as well as other planets and classes, right? Were any of you tomorrowers ever asked for an autograph? Yes, I've been asked for an autograph many times. I've also given out my autograph a couple of times. Yep. 50 years from now, welcome to Tomorrow Other Crap We Haven't Done Yet show. Tomorrow World Domination too soon. I kind of feel like Ben has always felt that world domination was in the background.
It's in the foreground.
It's in the foreground, he says. Oh, isn't that cute? Tomorrow Amish edition. Tomorrow Amish edition will be a little difficult. I'm sure we could figure it out. I'm good, thank you.
Is the general community consensus that we like the alternate tomorrow shows? Like we conceptually like the idea of having other topics?
Sure, that's a really good question. How do you guys feel about tomorrow branching out and covering other topics, not just on space, but cities and science and technology and the Amish, apparently? Cafe. I am also digging on Tomorrow Cafe. I guess.
I'll be the taste tester.
Of course, Jared will be the taste tester, as long as we don't mic you as you're doing it. I mean, it's said out of love. It is said out of love. Because where some of this came from was the desire to talk about other things that don't necessarily always have to do with space, right? Sometimes we do want to talk about coffee. Sometimes we do want to talk about personal rapid transport. Sometimes we do want to talk about Disney. And, well, we do talk about Disney regardless. But the concept still stands, is that, there have been many times where we have wanted to talk about or do a story on or anything, about these other topics, and that we can't always shove them quite right into space. And so hopefully you guys are kind of okay with that. Loud eating in the library? Oh, that is not right. Oh, just those sounds are so terrible. Where is that microphone? And how juicy is that freaking watermelon? That's so gross. There's actually a name for that kind of annoying sound. Is he crunching crap in a library? I would turn around and just punch that guy. So gross.
There's 2 people that I work with that sit at their desk at home and do that.
No, absolutely not. Tomorrow the musical, sure. Anomaly wants credit for Tomorrow Cafe.
Who does?
Anomaly.
Okay, well, no.
Slurpee sounds like grapefruiting. Yeah, a little bit.
All right, so what's Tomorrow Cafe going to
That's all right. Marty the Martian says, sorry, Anomaly, but anything on the chat room becomes property of Ben Corpse Incorporated.
That's correct. Ben Corpse
I also like Ben Corpse Incorporated for some reason. LLC? It's registered trademark. Mouth sounds for the
Do
loss.
you know what grapefruiting is?
Are we really going to discuss that on air right
I don't
now?
know, are we?
No.
Okay.
If I had to explain edging to somebody. We did sort of deflate Jared, didn't we?
I was gonna say, that's not Tim Dog's favorite painting activity.
I think so. Don't you? It wasn't a grapefruit, though. Didn't she suggest an orange?
What?
Didn't she suggest an orange?
What, in the video?
Yes.
No, it's a grapefruit.
Was it a grapefruit
Yeah.
she suggested?
Yes.
That's ridiculous. That's... Yeah, I've been familiar with that video. God, it's got to be... I don't know how old the original video is, but easily 2015? No, that's the remix.
Grapefruit, yo man.
That's so amazing. Yeah.
All right, Ben, get the painting.
Jared is redshifting.
Do the wall. Yeah, you do.
Only if you don't have a grapefruit. Okay, that's fair, I suppose.
There's red grapefruits too, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
So you do the-
Do I have a corporation for tomorrow? Not yet.
I've already written it up. I'll take care of painting tomorrow.
What about tomorrow? We have no idea what we're doing right now. I feel like that's every episode, don't you?
There used to be a time where we didn't even have a show rundown. We just get on camera and start talking about crap.
Oh no. What's going on, Jimmy? Oh.
It wasn't too bad. I think we ended at 12:15. It's 1:21. Wasn't about an
Do you believe in love and love? It's my Cher impression.
Nice.
And Dennis had his exercise for the week.
That is now going to regain some carbs.
Apparently, Cher is coming to the Monte Carlo Resort and Casino. And I just told Jimmy we need to go.
Jimmy's watching?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he thinks that we're actually off air.
How does that work? Oh, you're
He goes, "You're lucky I know when you're on air, so I didn't send this to you then." And then he goes, "Tell the truth," which is amazing.
Is that Jelly Bean in the chat room?
Yeah.
Hi, Jelly Bean.
Ah, crap.
Don't break my set.
Oh, I've broken your set.
Sorry, chat room. I'm texting to somebody in particular. Or he's watching, in which case I hate you right now.
You guys want to wrap it up? You don't have to. I just figured I'm nearly done.
Longest after dark ever.
Well, that's not true. We did a whole nother episode with Maston one time.
That's true. Well, longest after dark with just Carrie Ann. Let's see. All right, where am I going? This is After Dark. Tomorrow, we'll do it live!
We'll do it live!
Heck it.
Tomorrow, archaeology.
Boring. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Yesterday's.
Yeah, that's true. Ben says it doesn't make any sense. It's like, why not? Yurjaman forgot the video. Cher's alive? Yeah, Cher is alive. Actually, one of my favorite Cher moments, and it has nothing to do with Cher other than it's an impersonation of Cher, and a bad one at that, is the South Park episode where they come to SpaceX and Cher's in the lobby. And she, like, Cartman and his girlfriend are, like, discussing something, and Cher's in the corner like, "Do you believe?" It's so bad. It's so amazing. So good. Spectre9 says, I used to love you guys getting cooked at KSC, Kennedy Space Center, covering shuttle launches. I wonder if you still have the tent. Hells no. I don't even know what happened to that thing. Whatever happened to did we bought that, right?
No, the tent was a rental.
Tent was a rental? Never mind, tent was a rental.
Wait, you guys
What
were
do I know?
actually in a tent?
Oh, hell yeah, we were in a tent.
Like a camping tent? Or-
No.
What's wrong with you?
Here I
A
got
camping
excited for
tent?
a second, thinking that you guys might have gone camping.
No. Here's the deal. We were camping. It's called we were on air for 17 hours of my life, getting eaten alive. I was wearing knee socks and long jeans so that I wouldn't be bit. But I was sweltering at like 2 o'clock in the morning. At some point, I had to run to the bathroom.
Press actually.
We were the only press who were broadcasting. I had to run to the bathroom, though, like stupid early in the morning. Ben was like, no problem, I can cover. So fine. So I ran off to the bathroom and nearly bumped into, what's his name? Anderson Cooper. And then as I'm sitting in the stall using it, I look over and there's like an entire family of spiders like in the corner on a web. And I was like, ha! Do not move quickly. It was freaking me out.
Was this 135?
Yeah. Cher's always hanging out at SpaceX. I mean, probably. Tomorrow, Area 51. I'm not sure that we can talk about that. So good. So good. The best part is that Cher and, what's her name? Shakira sound amazingly alike. Because they both sing with their throats. This entire show should be redacted. Yeah, probably. Let's probably. It's okay. We can edit this out, right?
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Tomorrow, shh. Yeah. Oh, we'll fix it in post. Tomorrow redacted. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Anybody want to get me off camera? No? No, it's cool. All right. Just you and me now. Anything else?
I'm still here.
Burning questions. You're not mic'd up, though. So it's just like me. I know you gave him a mic.
Oh,
and
I thought
then
you wanted me to put your mic away.
he put it away.
Handed it to me. That's why I got confused.
That's what happened.
I got confused. Nothing new about that.
No, yeah.
So.